What's up, guys? It's Get Ready to Battle. Welcome to another Friday Funday video. Today, we are going to be playing Terraformental, which you can see in the title. It's it's an incremental, semi-idle game. Funny enough, inspired by a similar one to the one 2 episodes ago. Except this one's good. This one has more progress built into it, has a story that's at least more depth, and has an active judge. The reason why I'm not judge, active, what's the right they call it? Producer? Producer's not the thing. Developer. I'm gonna say developer. This is the similar site, also in the description, including here's the Discord, a roadmap. Here's how to donate to them. Everything's on the description thing, so click in the description to play it for yourself. It's pretty fun. It's also not complete, but at least if this one, the producer's currently still making things. Look, 30 days ago, last update. Here's a comment. Here's the producer. Not producer, the developer. As we can see from here, the author is Shadow Sand. They're still making comments. They're still acting. They are still active, unlike the other one who's 2 years late. They are still making extra content, and I love playing this game, so I'm going to play it. Now, unfortunately, it is still a semi-idle game, which means for making content, at least in my way, it's not good to just have the raw footage and send it. So, I'm going to use a feature of OBS I don't often use. The pause. I can pause my recording and play it. So it's a surprise. So let's click and run this game. Here we go. We can pause and unpause it. But enough, it doesn't do default things. Okay, here we go. You wake up in a cryo sleep pod. A deep chill seeps through your body, and your mind seems wrapped in a dense fog which obscures your memories. You can open the cryopod. Something tells you it should have opened when you wake up, but a little lever labeled emergency open tempts you relentlessly. It takes 5 seconds. It'll take 5 seconds to do this. We can click on this button to start the queue. Here's a queue. Use them automatically. Relatively warm but stale air rushes into the pod as the door lurches open, carrying with it a variety of unpleasant smells. You find yourself in a small room with few furnishings and only one door. We can explore the facility. This room's obviously part of a larger facility. You should find out what it is and maybe get some clue as to why you're here, or who you are. Remember, we don't know anything. Also, we can just wait. We can just wait time. We're not going to. Because there's things we can do. Also, we could die. It's not a good idea. And 10 seconds. It's done. Okay, we're trying. The facility seems to be a small terraformental, it's incremental and terraforming, small terraforming station, codenamed Talos, but in a very poor condition. Most of the systems are offline or unresponsive, and the door to the ground floor is locked. There are several other cryopods, like the one you were in, but seeing a few sealed balls of water makes you suddenly realize how thirsty you are. And look, we realized this. It currently goes down at a rate of 0.1 per second, which means I have 5 seconds before I fucking die. We can drink a small water bottle. You really should drink that water you just found. It takes 2 seconds to grab the bottle. Immediately drink it. It goes into our inventory, which then we immediately drink, and we now have cooldown before we drink the next one. Turns out you have a handy nano storage device, which can store a limited number of each object in existence, so long as it's not too big. Not that it matters just yet, as you were thirsty enough to guzzle the bottle straight down. Question is, what should your next priority be? So that's kind of explaining how you can have an X amount of water and then X items of units. So we can have waters in our stuff. Now we can inspect main generator, inspect the water system, inspect food synthesis, life support, and the ground floor door. Let's check the water system. Getting the water recycling system running would provide you with near limitless water. It's 12 seconds to do this. I should have clicked it and then done 12 seconds of reading. I don't know why I didn't. Notably, if this takes... Also, forgot to say, as someone who's played this game multiple times, you can repeat tasks, and to help emphasize the fact that you're used to doing this, you get faster at doing it because you're used to it. So now, you get 1.2 times for just completing it, period, and then, for repeatable tasks, you get an extra 0.01 times for each time you did it. Now, this is additive, not multiplicative, so if you finish it 100 times, that's just 2 times speed. That's not 1.01 times, to the power of 100, which is probably more, and I might be pulling up a calculator right now to do that. 1.01 to the power of 100 is 2.7 instead of 2, which is big fast. especially like 1,000 instead of 10, it would be 20,000 times, which would be insane. Okay. The water recycler is mostly functional, but the main pump is broken. You'll need to find or build a replacement before you can clean any more water. Luckily, there's a small amount of clean water left in the tanks, which you should be able to siphon out manually. If you have 20 small water bottles does not feel like a small amount. You drink for a while with that. Anyway, let's drink some more water. So we got like, that's 20 seconds. You know, let's just drink the rest of the water. Or let's grab the rest of the bottles. Now, there's still a cooldown of 10 seconds between each drinking water. Let's inspect the main generator. While the backups are providing enough power for most systems, if you can get the main generator back online, then it will give you a lot more options. Let's see what's in there. There you go. The immense fusion reactor required to power a terraforming station, like this, is actually deep underground, but the diagnostic and control terminals feed you all the information you need. The logs show that several weeks ago, someone ordered the repair drones to disable the generator by removing several key components. It'll take a while, but you can easily reverse the process. Which means for some reason someone wanted to blow it up, wanted to disable this place. I don't know why. I would say in the up-to-date part, I don't know why. I might have just made up something, but I do not know why they did that. We'll find out probably in the final version of the game, but that's still a long way away, and we shouldn't need to rush them. Either way. Because we can repair the main generator for 40 seconds to do. Although someone's... Anyway, let's do food synthesis. Food is important. Might be a good idea to check on the food synthesis system to see what condition it's in. Okay. I am worried for a certain timer thing that is going to happen. I want to see if we can race it. We raced it. Okay. Despite every component showing significant signs of wear, the food synthesis is still seems to be operable. Unfortunately, it requires more power than the backups can provide, and the facility's main generator is offline. Man, if only we repaired the main generator. Also, hunger starts. Although not feeling yet, you know it's only a matter of time before you start needing some food. So this doesn't go down yet. Cool. Let's inspect life support. Even if you weren't in a terraforming station on an as yet unterraformed planet, it's usually a good idea to know the current state of your life support. Also, you start to feel creeping pains of hunger in your belly. It's not serious yet, but you might want to look into getting some food. Okay, also, this doesn't decrease when you aren't doing activities. Very nice for just getting time to think, time for reactions. It does feel weird when it's like a 20-minute run takes like 25 to 30 real life minutes, but it's also nice that you can plan it out to the second. It's very nice. Okay, while the heating system is in near perfect condition, the carbon dioxide scrubbers, so like the stuff you breathe out. I don't know why, I feel like some of the word feels complex, so I feel like I want to try to explain it. But I trust you all. You all know the words. Scrubbers look like they're on their last legs. You can't think of a way to repair them, and you can't find any spares. So once they fail, you only have the air in the facility. You have 47 seconds before the air starts going down. Now, based on your inspection of the life support systems, you have a pretty good idea when the carbon filters will fail. After that, you'll need to find another air supply. Let's inspect the ground floor. There may be more resources or systems you can use on the ground floor, if you can find a way through the door. So let's inspect the door. Oh yeah, I forgot there's water. How long? 8 seconds? Okay, let's do that while I do it. Oh yeah, manually draw some of the stored water out into the filtration system. Out of the filtration system. And into a bottle. Now this. Seems like the door is sealed as part of an emergency lockdown. You should easily be able to lift the lockdown, but only if you can get the main generator back online. Alternatively, you could always try to force the door down, but it does look quite sturdy. So here it takes 15 minutes, and we have 2 minutes of food. So it's kind of not possible. In fact, this used to be 10 minutes. I never tried to actually do it because I played an earlier version of this where it just wasn't a good idea. And this one's better for that. Yeah, let's drink more water. An earlier version of this, and it came this is 3.1. 3.0 existed. I played even before 3.0. There was one of what the changes they made said we made the ground floor door not possible anymore. So don't try to do this, at least not in this version. Maybe if it actually is possible, then you can go back and do it, but it shouldn't be possible, so don't try to do it. So I'm not going to try. We're just going to repair the main generator. It takes 40 seconds to do. And yeah. Although they seem to have done it in a way that you should be able to repair it relatively easily. So that's the question. Why did they break it in a way that can be unbroke? If they broke it in the first place, did they know I existed and just wanted to do it, not caring about me? Did they actually have a plan to make me rebuild it? What's the lore? Who knows? The lore isn't going to be complete because the game isn't complete. I'm going to stay for a few seconds. I can pause it for long breaks. Okay, we now, seems like the door is sealed as part of, wait, no, that's the same thing. But now we can synthesize food because we got the food thing. We can also lift the lockdown, which is going to take 20 seconds. But first, I'm going to drink water. In fact, let's get a bunch of water. Let's just get a bunch of water. And it has totally nothing to do with the fact that I know something in the future becomes accessible, and I want it to be easy for them. There's no proof whatsoever. You have no proof. It's not that you need water in the future. It's that there's a thing that will be slightly easier if I do this. And then we can lift the lockdown after. Now that power's restored, you can't lift the lockdown to reach the ground floor. Okay, now it's time to use the power of pausing, and then we'll get back when these 20 seconds is gone. Okay, now we can explore ground floor. With the door finally open, you have a whole new floor of the facility to explore. It's going to take 20 seconds. I need to start clicking the button before doing that. No, wait, this is wait, with power store, the food sensor can produce all the food you can eat, so long as none of the components wear out. Funny story, they can't wear out, at least not in this version, which I'm very glad for. But they word it as if, oh god, I have to be careful with my food use. You don't. Okay. Here we have the different places. Okay, the ground floor is separated into two main areas. The personnel sector is mostly quarters, just like where people stay. I mean, the personnel is where the people are. Common areas and offices for the staff. All currently empty, though there is a locked administrator's office, which might have some useful data. The rest of the space is dedicated to maintenance, including a workshop and a vehicle bay. Might be worth a closer look. I am going to check out the workshop, because there's something I know that's in here. The workshop is pretty small compared to the immense vehicle bay it's attached to, but there might be some useful tools and components in there. Now, back down here. The workshop is pretty basic, and most of its components seem to be there awaiting repair. However, there is an entire cargo pallet of water pouches, a large pile of metal sheets, which you might be able to find a use for, as well as one functional power coupler. You can only assume someone had just finished repairing it when the evacuation sounded. We got infinite water now. Also, you want to know why I kept doing this even though I knew we were getting infinite water? Check this out. Takes 2 seconds for this. This is worth 2.5 water. Check out the food. This is worth 2.5 food. We can make these two have parity. That's the whole reason. I just wanted parity, because I knew I was going down to the next level. So we can actually just drink like a bunch of water. In fact, let me actually get one food now for the cooldown. And I will be back when the food's ready. Okay, close enough to ready. The cooldown has ended, but I still need to eat more food. For now, let's explore the vehicle bay. A large section of the maintenance area is sanctioned off for vehicle bay. Is a sectioned off for a vehicle bay. If there are still any vehicles there, you might be able to get it. Use it to get a change of scenery, aka leave. So if we go there, we can find through here. Okay, no. Judging by the markings on the numerous parking spaces of the vehicle bay, there used to be dozens of rovers here, as well as several VTOL, which is vertical takeoff landing aircraft. Cough, cough, helicopters. Probably not helicopters, probably something futuristic. Fortunately, or perhaps by someone's design, there's one rover left, tucked in the far corner of the bay. I still don't know. I wonder, is this actually going to be someone's design? I will say I don't know by the end. Okay. So, we're going to inspect the rover. Someone left a single rover behind when all of the others left. Either it was deliberately left for you, or it was left because it wasn't worth bringing. You should hope for the former. Okay, now a quick walk through the rover, checking the lockers and other storage reveals very little. One thing you do find is definitely going to be helpful though, an emergency survival suit. It won't protect you from much, but it will offer a sealed environment for you to breathe in, so long as you have some air tanks, as well as a small water reservoir that you can easily drink from. It even looks like the reservoir has been left full of water, so yeah, that's cool. Okay, so a bunch of things just appeared. We're gonna ignore these ones yet. Let's just do the emergency suit while I read this. So emergency suit is emergency suit in the rover, which will allow you to breathe from air tanks, and the built-in water reservoir will allow you to store more water. So watch this. We have like 3 out of 5, and now we have 8 out of 10. We had 5 free. Okay. Now while I read this, I'm also just gonna do this. Okay. So you probably shouldn't be surprised that half the rover systems are non-functional. The air recycler is working, so you should be able to refill your O2 tanks here. But if you want to go anywhere, you need to cannibalize 4 power couplers from the facility systems. Oh wow, it's 4 power couplers. And find enough scrap metal to patch the holes in the hull. Oh wow, the metal sheets that we heard about when we explored the workbay. The food synthesizer is missing several key components, and the water recycler is just missing. But hopefully you'll be able to gather enough supplies to make a decent length journey. So, now we can fill air and this. So I'm going to fill the air, and that's going to take 8 seconds. Plus other items. Is that not the pause button? Which one's the pause? I'm clicking the wrong buttons on my keyboard. Something I should say while we wait for this to fill. This has a cooldown for how often you can use it. This you can just use infinite times at once. This has a max of 5, but it refills. Every 30 seconds, there's a new full air tank to replace yours. Okay, I paused it, and I forgot exactly when I paused it. Here we are. We're repairing the hole. I think I did talk about the hole part, and then I paused it, and then I was like, hey, let's do the force admin door while I'm here. Just in case I'm going to read it again. And this door is a lot lighter than the one to the ground floor was. It will probably be relatively easy to force open. 45 seconds is a lot less than 15 minutes. I'm just going to wait for us all to... Oh god, I'm out of food. Back to pausing. Okay, I forgot to say right down here. So since I just finished the repair rover hole. You're relieved to see the pressure gauge finally spinning upwards as you seal the final hole in the hull. Final hole in the hull. The pressure regulator is busted, so you can't rely on it constantly replenishing your oxygen without you micromanaging it. But at least you'll be free to take your helmet off for short periods to eat and drink. You do still need to repair the power systems if you intend to go anywhere in it though. Not to mention, you don't actually know anywhere else to go yet. You could try driving around randomly, but to say your odds of finding anything useful are low would be somewhat of an understatement. Notably, we do have 5 metal sheets left over. I know what these can be used for. Not going to be useful for like the first 15 lives, so we're just going to keep them here. Oh, also we're almost out of air. I just didn't even notice that. Whoops. Let's force the admin door. Because this might be how we access the future places. I'll pause. After opening the door, you find it relatively easy to force the door to the administrator's office open. The computer isn't locked, but most of the data seems to have been corrupted, other than the last active file. Only a few schematics are still accessible. Inside the desk, you find a stash of protein bars. Here's protein bars. You can eat them. They give protein. They don't taste too good, but they're pretty filling and take years to go stale. So, enough. Let's play the admin log. Watching the final log recorded on the administrator's terminal might give you some useful information. Might. Okay. The log shows Colonel Taggart, the administrator of Talos Station, giving a report on the current status of the systems and declaring that, quote-unquote, the artifact has somehow destabilized them, in particular life support. He ordered an evacuation and left coordinates of the facility they were going to try to reach. If you can repair that rover you found, you should be able to follow them. We have a place to go now. We are still out of air though, which is dangerous. Let's get more food. And then we have 3 power couplers. This needs 4, which I didn't actually ever show. And that would involve taking food synthesis. The reason I didn't click this one is because here, let me just grab some extra protein bars. The reason I didn't use this one is because you could take the power couple to the food system, but you make sure you have a decent food supply before you do. Once you take this away, you can no longer synthesize food. And I like synthesizing food. What we can do, though, is take this office. The schematics on the admin computer showed an easy-to-access power coupler, which links to the office to main generator, but it's otherwise unused. It's otherwise unused, you say? Yoink! Don't mind if I do. We are stealing this and using this for our future. Now, we can repair the coupler, and also maybe get some air. And we'll be back. Something I also didn't say while I was doing this. We can see how long we have, both in our current reserves and in these reserves. But also we can come up here and see what you have the least of. I mean, this will run out first, so we can know water is dangerous. Anyways, we finished the food. And we finished the water thing. Your rover hums to life. Around you as you connect the final power coupler. With the hull repaired too, plus the coordinates to the computer, you're pretty much ready to go. Though you should make sure to stockpile some of those protein bars and some water bottles. The more different types of food and water containers you have, the more your nano storage device can carry total, and the longer you can survive. So this is what the nano storage device is. I don't come on. Every second this is at 5 is wasted air. That's the wrong button. Was it? That's the unpause button. I kind of just put 2 ones on my keyboard. Alright, so we're about to leave in the rover. But did you know if you right click it, it will stop right before it's actually done. So we right clicked and watch what happens. Nothing happens. It's just almost done. So it's ready to be done at a moment's notice. So we are just not going to fill up the food because we have a lot of food. And we don't have a lot of water. So we're going to run out of water way before we run out of food. So it's just not even worth it. So we're just going to get a lot of food. And then we can leave. Beep. After triple checking the rover systems and your stockpile of food and water, you finally leave Talos Station behind. With the onboard GPS guiding you, it's relatively simple to aim for the coordinates from the administrator's final log. You sit back and stare out at the slowly passing lifeless landscape, idly wondering what you might find when you reach your target. Let's follow the coordinates. You still have a long way to go if you want to reach whatever is at the coordinates you found. Now it says drains 1 power per second. That resource will not appear until we find something that actually specifically cares about it. And we don't have a thing that specifically cares about it. We're not going to get even low to running out of it. So we're just going to not be used. So currently we're going to run out of air. And we have more air now. And I'm going to pause until we get to the next section. 1, 0. The first leg of your journey takes you past all the smaller buildings and equipment which support the facility you were in. Small solar farms to supply backup power, drills to release pockets of gas to build up an atmosphere and trap heat, heaters to melt glaciers, providing food and raising the temperature of the planet even faster. You seem to understand them all, yet you know that something about them is wrong. Okay, follow the coordinates. There's still a lot of distance between you and the coordinates, but the nav computer says it's a pretty straight route. Are we out of what? Okay. It's been a while since you last saw one of those support buildings, and you've had nothing to look at but the horizon. Which is good, as otherwise you may have missed seeing a flash of the reflected sun on the horizon. It's a little off your current heading, but with nothing else out there, you feel it's worth investigating. So now we're heading for the reflection. It's probably a good idea to check out that reflection, just in case it's something useful. Imagine you just couldn't. Imagine you had the option to just to ignore it. Be like, nah, I want to focus on getting to my goal. It's not gonna happen. And yeah, we run out of water first, and we do not have ways to get water. But, voila. As you draw closer to where you saw the reflection, you're eventually able, actually here, despite the apparent age of the wreckage, you might be able to find something inside, just in case. You're eventually able to make out the shape of another rover. It's in far worse shape than yours was, even before you fixed it up. In fact, it looks almost as if it's been sitting derelict for years, and has been half buried by the weather and terrain. The Talos Station, the quote Talos Station unquote, embraced in the hull is buried invisible. Despite the age, you might be able to find something inside. According to the markers, it's definitely from the same facility as you. There are no bodies inside, so the driver and any passengers were likely rescued long ago. It seems they also took a lot of the components and tools that you could have used. However, in the rear compartment, you find a sealed containment crate, usually used to transport fragile or dangerous materials and equipment. You wonder what might be inside, and if it might be useful. Let's open it. You feel like you should be more concerned about the potential danger of opening it. Yet you're not. What's the worst that could happen? Death. Okay. You release the seals and pull back the lid of the crate. A light hiss telling you that it has indeed remained airtight for all this time. Inside rests a strange metallic object, unlike anything you know. Its surface appears to be made of countless tiny cubes, slowly moving and shifting in an unending rhythmic motion, which is almost hypnotic. You wonder what it feels like to touch. Don't touch the mystic artifact. Now we're going to touch the mystic artifact. You feel like you should be concerned about what you're touching such an item might do. Yet you're not. I wonder if there's like a reason for that, or if that's just like, eh, why not? You need to get along with the track, go on the track. Okay. Did I take 4 seconds? Okay. As you touch the artifact, all its movement ceases for a moment. Then it suddenly begins collapsing in on itself. The cubes seem to to keep pulling inwards, folding together in impossible ways. Without warning, they start instead moving up your hand, pulling you downwards towards it, and even sinking into your skin. Moments later, all trace of it is gone, absorbed into your body. You're unsure what to do, but since there seems to be nothing else for you here, you reluctantly return to your rover and resume your previous course. Let's get back on course. Despite what you thought before, it actually made a pretty substantial detour to reach the wreckage. It'll take a long time to get back on course. A whole 45 seconds. Which is, pretty long. So, you're still not sure how you failed to notice how far off course visiting the wreck would take you. The detour has drained a significant portion of your supplies, and you're still concerned about your odds of survival. Follow the coordinates. This is it, the final leg of the journey. At the very least, if you can make it this far, then you'll be able to see what's at the coordinates. It's 2 minutes away. Currently, a minute 30. How long do I have to live? A minute 10. We are not making it that far. We can't really fast forward life, can we? Oh wow, looks like you can skip ahead. I can't. I'm still stuck here, waiting out the entire time. Luckily, I have things I can watch. So, and 1 second, 0 seconds. Ow. You know you're dying. There's no way you could have made it to the coordinates. You just weren't fast enough. Didn't have enough supplies. Maybe if you've taken a slightly different route to get there, to get there faster, or found some way, some way you to repair more of it this way, or found some way you to repair some more. I think it's the first typo I've noticed. Neat. Okay, but none of that matters now. You close your eyes for the final time. Wake up. You awaken in a cryosleep pod. Wait, you weren't dead? The chill steeping through your body and fog wrapped around your mind obscures many of the details, but you would definitely remember fragments of what happened. Hey, look, it's 2 seconds, 20 seconds of water. Open the cryopod. Something tells you should open when you. Okay, wait, this is the exact thing. It tempts you relentlessly. It tempts you. Okay. Relatively warm Bastera rushes into the pod as the door lurches open, carrying with it a variety of unpleasant smells. Somehow, knowing that the life support system is running out, now this will be the freshest air you taste for a while, is far from comforting. Okay, this flavor text is the same as before. Man, it feels weird. It also feels like I'm checking this faster than I normally do. If there's any doubt in your mind, as all back in the same place, is dispelled by your brief tour of the facility. I did not expect that to happen when I finished drinking the water. Everything exactly as it was when you woke up the first time, including your immense thirst when you spot bottles of water on the table. You should probably remember to come straight here for a drink if you wake up here again. Drinks the water bottles. As you quickly down the bottle of water, you consider your next move. You have to assume that you've somehow been sent back in time, most likely due to that artifact. With all the prior knowledge you now possess, you've already been completing your tasks slightly faster. But you realize you can go straight to the biggest problems and fix them before they get worse. The only question is, what's the biggest problem right now? I'm going to repair the main generator, because I don't need to take the non-essential couplers yet. See? Non-essential. Essential. So let's just take them. Let's steal them. Grab them. Bring them home with us. I should stop making these jokes. Notably, also didn't say 1.3 times speed, even though we finished it once. Why is that? Because this is a non-repeatable task. We've completed it once. Thus, it is complete. While this one, 33 times, only a 0.33 plus the normal 0.2. Why is that? Because this is a repeatable task. We can keep repeating it. Oh, okay. A deep thrumming rumbles its way through the facility as the main generator starts back up. Without needing to check, you know that the food synthesizer and ground floor door will be included among the systems automatically coming back online. We are now hungry. And there we go, we got all the places. So let's take the suit. Emergency suit, let's see, breathe from air tanks, store more water. Let's grab them. Grab it and get ready. Yep, grabbed it. So now we can do... I forgot what it was. Okay, so the food's already going down. So I need what? Okay, let's fill the air tanks. I'm just going to get some food and water before progressing. Actually, what I'm also going to do is, we're going to hack the admin office door. This door is sealed by someone's personal access code rather than a general lockdown. It would likely be a lot harder to bypass because you have to crack the access code. On the plus side, once you've cracked it, you can use it on any terminal locked with it, which means we will have access to this every time and we won't need to spend 3 minutes to do it. We're sacrificing now for the future, and when the future lasts forever, it's worth it. I like to point out we just started the hack task. Notice how it says 46? Let's see how far it goes. Alright, the task is done. We went from 46 to 28, and we're almost dead. We're almost dead of dehydration. Great job, boys. Bring 'em home. But hear me out. We won't have to wait 3 minutes next life, or the life after that, and so on and so on. Something I didn't comment on. You see this of how it has multiple tasks inside? These tasks take a certain amount of time to do. But if you do this combined task instead, which is just doing them all, it's actually 1.1 times as fast. Just by clicking this button. Oh yeah, also, and then you can read the new text. You know, you can take the power couplers from the workshop, office, water recycling, and life support systems without any negative effects. Oh, it's just, you know I can take that. It's not, you know, this is true. I read the wrong. Currently doing the repair hull, have different text than last time, so wait for that. Okay, with the hull, it says, you check that the pressure gauge spins upwards as you seal the final hole in the hull. Now you'll be able to freely take your helmet off and drink water as soon as you're in the river. Be certain to gather the couplers and repair the power supply systems if you intend to go anywhere in it. Which is a more concise way to say what they've previously said. It's interesting how they shorthand it. Because you know the information already. Still doing the non-essential. Okay, the rover hums to life around you as you connect the final power coupler. With the hull repaired too, plus the coordinates you remember from the computer, you're pretty much ready to go. Just make sure you've stocked enough resources before you leave. Unlike last time where we had to hurry and leave, this time we can be more situated and get extra food because we have enough air. 40 seconds might not seem like a lot, but it's plenty. Totally nothing bad will happen. And away we go! And follow the coordinates. After double checking, not triple, double checking the rover systems and your stockpile of food and water, you finally leave Tallow Station behind, settling into the long journey you know is ahead. Stare at the slowly passing lifeless landscape, idly wondering what you might find as you eventually reach your target. And we already used what? Why did we already use water? Oh, because they were saving pineapple. I got food. I got protein. We got the protein bars and the basic food. And nearly maxed out. Air on the other hand, not maxed out. Do I intend to use all of it? Probably not. I think we're gonna run out of water before we run out of air. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, actually just run out of air right here. And save it. Passing all the smaller, wait. Oh yeah, passing all the smaller support buildings and equipment gives you another chance to examine them all. You're increasingly certain that something just isn't right about them, but can't figure out what it is. Maybe it would be worth taking a closer look at them if you ever get the chance. For now, you have a more important target. I don't know. I think with the ability to die and live over, I think you can sacrifice one of infinite lives to check it. If time is not an issue, why not waste some time? Now we have the choice. A while after you leave the last support buildings, you start keeping an eye out for the next landmark you're expecting, the derelict rover. Right on cue, you see the flash of reflected sun on the horizon. Now that you know what's there and how far off course it is, you could ignore it and continue towards the coordinates. But if you're right about the artifact causing sloop, maybe you should check it out again. We're gonna check it out again. You reach the derelict rover, and just as you remember, ignoring the rest of the wreck, you head straight for the containment crate in the rear compartment. Open it. You're surprised to see you're surprised how your heart flutters as you release the seals and pull back the lid of the crate. Suddenly thrilled at the thought of getting to see the measuring artifact once more. I think you have an addiction. Moments later, you feel a crushing disappointment upon seeing the crate is in fact empty. Whatever the artifact is, it's the only thing you found so far, which is different than the first time. Different from the first loop. I feel like I'm trying to read out what it is, but I know kind of what it is, so I'm doing shortcuts. That's a problem. Unless you find out something more, you suppose there's not much reason to come back here in future loops. So we're not going to check out the loops anymore. We're back here. And now follow the coordinates. Final leg of the journey. Notably, you see this 1.2 times for the first blank previous loop. The 1.2 progress is incomplete. Once it's complete, you get that bonus for everything, because that's how much you completed, and you get a default bonus based on how many times you completed it. If you only intended to do it once, then it's a 10%. It's 10% basically. If you intend to do it multiple times, then it's 1%. So this keeps repeating, which means because we survived as long as we did last life, we get this. Wonderful to see. Let's see what happens when we get there. All right, let's see where we go. Beep. As you at the crest of the steady hills for 5 seconds, you're finally able to look down at the following valley and the target of the coordinates you've been trying to reach. Another terraforming facility. Despite being the same type as the one you left, this one looks very different, having been heavily and haphazardly modified. You can barely even make out the name Lauren Station on the outer wall. You'll have to get closer to learn more. Approach the facility. Everyone evacuated to another terraforming station. But what happened to them once they got here? And why is it so heavily altered? I wonder why. Let's get closer in the 10 seconds that we have. Do I have enough time to get air? I don't think I do. Yeah, we have enough time to not go to break. We're here, driving carefully to avoid the numerous hazily built structures around the base of the station. You're able to get a closer look at them. They seem to be exceedingly basic habitats, many of them already showing signs of depressurization, despite only being a few weeks old. None seem to be occupied. I can open the vehicle bay, though. I'm gonna do that. You should be able, to open the Valorian Station vehicle bay easily enough with your rover's computer. Totally is gonna work. All of the vehicles are able to connect with any nearby facility, allowing them to remotely control and run diagnostic on some systems, including the vehicle bay doors. Yet for some reason, you can't connect to this facility at all. The only reason you can think of is that the short-range comms are down, or that all of the power is down, including the backups. Either way, you're going to have to leave the rover here for now and use the personal airlock. I'm going to leave the rover. Okay. Even knowing you can come back anytime, you're a little reluctant to step out of the rover, but there's no way it'll fit through the personal airlock. That means we get murdered. No, I'm kidding. So we can open the personal airlock. The personal airlock is designed to be easily usable by anyone, even in emergencies. One way or another, you'll be able to get inside Lauren Station. And then we have a few things that are persistent, so keep progress between loops. Good, because we have 4 seconds to live. I'm going to explore nearby facilities. There were obviously a lot of people living in the modified support facilities surrounding Loron. There might still be some supplies among them. Let's go find out. Okay, you finally reached the coordinates. There's another whole terraforming station there. And you think you might even be able to work out a faster route here now. You did run out of water after blank, but this is a big step in the right direction. You're certain you can learn more next time. Wake up. Weekend card bud. You feel it's a reminder that you've been given another chance to get things right. The rush of warm, stale air reminds you need to fetch the emergency suit before you'll taste fresh air again. Now that you know you're really in a time loop, you won't bother searching the entire facility again. Instead, you go straight for the water you know you need. Which is this. You know what? Let's see if I can finish it. I don't think I can, but let's try. Let's repair the main generator. If I do this, then that means I can save. How long is it? 5.7 times 5. That's like 28 seconds. Which is 28 seconds is a lot of time for you to make it. As you quickly down the bottle of water, you consider your next move. There's no doubt at this point that you're stuck in a time loop, even if you assume it's due to the artifact. Even if you assume it's the artifact you touch, it still leaves a lot of unanswered questions. On the upside, it seems like you'll be able to find all the answers sooner or later, so long as you don't give up. Deep throttling. Lift the lockdown for 14 seconds away. This is 12 seconds. Luckily, the water only takes 0.7. But this is a race against the clock. Will we be able to put on the suit and drink the water before anything bad happens? Or just get a water patch before anything bad happens? We can take the water patch right now. The emergency suit takes 7 seconds. We can take the emergency suit and still live. Let me get some water. Notably, and now we have enough water for the food. And thus we're ready. And now the unlock door. You remember the password from last time you hacked this door, so it should be easiest typing it in. Notably, now this is fast. So we can just speed through this. We're just going to do jump cut through till the end. Okay, so here we are at the end of here. we have completed everything. As we completed the holds, you barely bother to check the pressure gauge as you feel. As you see the final hole in the hull. The rover hums to, and then when you put in the power couplers, it hums to life as you connect the final around you, as you connect the final coupler, and then that's like it. And then you're ready to go. Here we have 20. We have 4 more minutes of air to just hang out here. We could just vibe, live. Don't need to. Let's progress. Okay, after checking the rover systems, not double, just one, checking, and the stockpile of food and water, you leave it behind again. Settling in for the long journey you're getting all too used to. You stare out at the slowly passing life landscape, idly wondering what new mysteries you may uncover this time. We have another 1.1 speed! We got the follow coordinates parts 1 and 2 before we take the large leap. Jump cut time. Okay, now the next part. Travel to Loron. It's just bypass the Derek Clover. We're not going there again. Ignoring the first time, just heading there saves you a lot of time. You gotta go there. And we just follow the coordinates, no more map, and then approach the facility. And then that's it. Then we're there. It's 4 minutes. Yeah, this is gonna be. We just barely have more. Just barely have more air than water. And then we're just gonna travel there. This will take about 2 minutes. I will say it's nice the way I do here. I feel like I don't need to filibuster for two. I realize I can pause and nothing important happens. I can just filibuster for. It's hard filibustering for 2 minutes over the course of an hour. Here I can just jump cut. I feel like it actually improves my quality. So thank you, semi-idle ones. So you can just take small breaks while I can still chime in with dumb comments. A little thing it says after we get past there and now approaching the facility. You reach the top of the hill, overlooking Loron again, hoping you'll be able to learn more this time. Okay, you weave between the ragged structures around the station faster this time. Keep an eye out for any that might warrant a closer look. You spot 1 or 2 promising candidates, so it might be worth checking them out. Notably, we have 2 minutes of water, and last time we sure as hell did not have 2 minutes of water. So let me fill an air tank. Let me fill 2 air tanks before I head out of the rover. And it has totally nothing to do with the fact that I remember some stuff that I'm going to do this round. Alright, use the rover's air recycler to fill a tank with clean, freshable air. We could actually do this, but I don't want to. I want to do this. I want to explore nearby support facilities. I feel a lot of structures. Modified. Might still be supplies among them, and that might be why I got more air than I needed compared to water. I might need a bunch of water right now, but I might have founding water. Oh my god, water! Okay, wait. Beep beep. All the buildings close to Loron itself seem to have had temporary living quarters built onto their existing structure. Let me just make sure. Okay, so now we are at 213, and this is 218, very slightly. Okay, let's inspect. Let's go explore this. Okay, you find. Alright. Wait, they were probably only barely airtight when they were built, with flex pipes carrying air from the main facility. Even after the short time they seem to have been standing, they're already starting to degrade, and most are no longer livable. You find several areas which look like they used to hold supplies, but they have been mostly emptied. A few missed scraps are all you find, the remainder presumably having been moved inside the base. While you're looking around, it occurs to you that a lot of these support facilities seem often the same way the ones around Talos did. Maybe you should take a closer look at one of them when you have some free time. You know, such as if you're in a time loop and live forever. I wonder what happens if you're in a time loop. What happens if you just die of natural causes? Well, I guess this is natural causes. It's weird to think of. Are we ever able to live? Oh, here I didn't even read this part. The further out support facilities were also modified, but to a lesser extent. It looks like they might have been used for storage and work rather than living in. So there may be useful tools or information in them, but they're spread out over a pretty large area to try and cover on foot. Explore. Most of the alterations to the buildings surrounding Loron seem to have been intended to help support far more people than should have been living here. Makeshift hydrophonic plant bays around the heaters housed fast-growing edible plants. Drills were redirected towards pockets of gas which could be produced into additional breathable air, and several large tanks presumably held water ferried in from other locations. Most of it is no longer functional and empty of supplies, but you note a few locations which may be worth a closer look. We could inspect the backup generator or the scouting tower. I'm going to do scouting tower. It looks like they used a tower, not towel, at outer edge of the support facilities as some kind of scouting outpost. Might be some useful info up there. Who knows? Could be some useful. Could also be, could inspect the drill, could inspect the backup generator, could just go open the personal airlock and head on inside. And totally only that. Okay, so how long does the math takes? Okay, math going on. Okay. It seems they use this tower to coordinate the large number of vehicles bringing back water and other supplies for all the people living here. There's short-range communication equipment, several maps of the area, and detailed logs of movement of the vehicles. We can study the maps, or we can study vehicle reports. I have 43 seconds to live, so I can't finish these, and I don't want to throw away my life looking at it. So let's open the personal airlock. See what's in here. Okay, the personal airlock is designed to be easily usable by anyone, even in emergencies. One way or another, you'll be able to get inside Lauren Station. Since the controls to the airlock aren't responding either, you have to resort to manual controls. Slower and more hard work, but guaranteed to work. A small blast of air rushes out of the facility as the airlock grinds slowly open. Enter the vehicle bay. Now that you're inside the airlock, you have to manually cycle it before you can head further inside. We have to physically make it so we can breathe inside the building. We are now inside. Oh look, there's air in here. Manually cycling the airlock finally grants you access to the vehicle bay, but it's far from what you expected. It seems like someone set up a shanty town with dozens of tents and scrap metal cabins built around the vehicles stored here. And there's a lot of vehicles, far more than a normal complement. But it actually looks like there used to be several times more, with a huge open space just in front of the main doors. Judging by the emblems on them, they come from numerous different terraforming stations. Including Talos. You're somewhat disappointed to realize that it seems just deserted as everywhere else. And so you've been so far. On top of that, the lack of lighting and slight stale smell. Slight stale smell in the air. All confirms there's even less power here than there was at Talos when you first woke up. Wah wah. Okay, let's get some water. And then this should be the same amount of water and food. Yep, same amount of water and food. Which means, based on how much air we have, that's 2.2 seconds, but this is 1.26. So we can do this. It should be enough. 6.5 plus 6.5 plus 8. 12, that's 20. And it gets us how much? It gets us a very small amount, but still more than we could. Than we originally did. It is overall a good idea to do this. Okay. Even if it goes neutral, I think it's still worth it. So future runs, it's worth slightly better than neutral. We can explore the facility, and we can inspect the vehicles. Based on how much I have to live, let's explore the facility. Let's explore. 39 to this, okay. I mean, it lasts forever. It doesn't last forever. Okay. Explore facility. The layout of the facility should be pretty similar to Talos, but with all the changes you've already seen, who knows what else you'll find. 49 seconds. And then, although general layout seems very similar to the Talos facility, most of the rooms seem to have been repurposed to accommodate larger numbers of people than the designers ever intended. Meeting rooms become mess halls, decontamination rooms be used as communal showers, all to support the people who were living in the vehicle bay. The doors to the upper floor and the administrator's office are in the same place, and only one door is completely unfamiliar to you. We got an own door, we got this, we got the air, which is 56 plus 18, which is math of 1/4. Doing this isn't going to help enough to matter to do anything, so I'm just going to not do that. Let's inspect the upper floor doors. The door to the upper floor is in the same place as it was in Talos. If you can open it, you might be able to restore main power, or at least the backups. Okay. You're pleasantly surprised to discover that the door leading up to things wide open. Judging by the dents and scrape marks on it, someone already forced it open. I never actually really, when I played all these games multiple times before, when I played the game multiple times before, I never really thought of the process of the fact that someone already forced it open. I don't like the idea that there's another person in here that has access to this. Does that mean I wonder if that means if you physically come here in like 10 seconds. Nah, that probably means they crafted before I woke up. I'm gonna assume that's what happened. Okay, so now also, activities can happen as you're progressing. This activity happened. You check on the cryopods first, but are unsurprised that all the backup power for the few occupied ones have also failed, and their occupants are dead. Whether or not they were alive when they went into the pods is impossible to tell at this point. Seeing them lying there reminds you of your own awakening in that identical pod. Your knowledge tells you that while some memory loss is a fairly common side effect of the cryogenic process, it shouldn't be lasting this long. Even without the time loop, your memory is restored by now. Every system you find on the upper floor is showing heavy signs of wear, which is hardly surprising given the number of people they were apparently supporting. The air recycler is the best maintained and should keep running for quite some time, assuming you can keep it powered. Power will be the biggest issue though, since the main reactor is completely unsalvageable, along with the food synthesizer and water recycler. The one useful thing you find is a control terminal, which allows you to shut off emergency systems, to save you a bit of any power you manage to get here. Let's explore the admin door. The door to the admin office is in the same place as it was in Talos. If you can open it, you might be able to learn more about what happened here, or where everyone went. And I might give you a little hint about there. It's not worth forcing the door open. Unless you really like granola bars. Maybe you do. I don't know, you guys. You could. Okay, we can force it for 40 seconds. You start considering how you might be able to power this. So this one, might be able to power this facility, since it seems like you won't be getting the main generator back online anytime soon. You remember seeing a portable generator in the Talos workshop, but you won't be able to get that until next loop, and you'll still need to find some fuel. Maybe you could bring a power cell in from the rover and transfer power to the facility batteries. Probably won't last too long, even just running the emergency backup systems, but it might be just enough to get 1 or 2 quick tasks done. I'm not doing that. Just like at Talos, the door to the administrator's office has been locked with a code. And the Talos admin code doesn't work here. Looks like you need to either force it open or crack this password too. Of course, you can't hack anything without power. Can't hack it, because you need at least 0.1 power per second. So this can't do anything, we need power for that. Okay, we can force the door. Or we can spend 20 seconds left exploring the vehicles. I was gonna say explore the unknown door, but no. We're just gonna do this for the rest of our lives. Not lives, it's one life. No, it's not one life. What? I hate this. Sorry, my phone recently updated. So now the normal place I scroll down to see the notifications brings me to only the settings menu. So I can't see my notifications anymore in the normal way. I have to physically do a different thing. Anyway, this time you managed to find a way inside the new Lauren station. So getting in again should be even easier next time. You did run out of water, but you're making progress. And now it's time to jump ahead. Look, there's not even something when you wake up immediately. You're just so used to it. Rush air. You pull the release lever almost automatically. You're already focused on it. Wait, okay. Let's go. Also, the 2 tasks for repair main generator and lift lockdown are now 1 task. You're getting so used to repairing the generator and opening the door that you can almost do it in your sleep. Okay, as you quickly down the bottle of water, you're already focused on Lauren. You finally made it inside, but you feel certain that there's far more for you to learn. You just have to get there faster. You also need to be better prepared for the challenges you find there. The water's getting somewhat run out. Wait. Oh, I forgot to get that extra water. Whoops. Okay, minor thing. This one says inspect rover charger, so we can inspect it. Now that you're more aware of the rover's power limitations, it occurs to you that you may need to recharge it at some point. You should check the equipment required for doing so. Let's inspect. We can also load the generator on the rover. It'll be a tight fit, but you should be able to load a mobile generator from the workshop onto the rover. Takes 10 seconds. Let's inspect the charger. You know, maybe something interesting about it. Okay, let's get some water. Okay. Unfortunately, it seems the equipment responsible for converting the facility's power into a safe form for the rover's power cells has been scavenged for parts. You'll have to find some other place to charge the rover. I know a place, but, you know, let's just jump ahead. Minor thing I like to point out, you can install the generator into the rover. I'm going to say that as we drive off. Oh yeah, also, we have priority now. I guess we should read these. But first let's read this one. Oh yeah, also we can park the thing back in Talos, and we also know how much power's in the... Like, 7 things became awake once we got to the previous run. And it only appeared right now. Okay, we're going to travel this. Now that you know the route, low battery, you can shave off bedtime when you're out. We're going to do that while reading everything else. We can park in Talos. You can park the rover back in Talos if there's anything you've forgotten. Or just want to top up your supplies. Neat. Can install the generator in the rover. These rovers weren't really designed to take power directly from a generator like this, so you have to make a few adjustments, which would, I mean in parentheses, which would also make the generator useless for powering anything other than this rover. But you could hardwire them together, so I mean it works. Okay, now here. Right, it occurs to you all the time that you've been prioritizing which supply to use based on what's most available in the moment. After all, why would you drink small water pouches when you have so many water pouches laying around? But just because there's a lot of pouches here doesn't mean there necessarily be lots everywhere. It might be worth putting in a bit more thought into what you use and when. So this is actually how you should probably do it. If you plan to come back to Talos, then you can do the generator thing. Or you can do the, then you should probably eat basic food so you can come back. What, why you? I don't know what that means. Okay, I'm guessing that's what it means for speed. Okay. I'll travel directly to Talos. You're familiar enough with the route at this point, you can do it all in one go. So travel to Loron. Wait, just travel Loron again. So just do it really fast. Just go faster than normal. Oh wait, no wait. I did the first part, which means I can do the whole part. Except we already did that. Okay. Wait, yeah, after checking the rover systems and your stockpile of food and water, wait, you leave. Okay, we've already read this part, so this part isn't necessary. But knowing this, we can change how effective it is. This also has an auto, which automatically changes as the process goes. If they were the same rarity, they would do based on whatever eats the most. So if since this does 2.5 and this is 2, it'll wait to do this. So you basically have more material. But if you know, oh, I'm going to get some more basic food, I want to eat that right now, then you can. Also, you can have process go. Sorry, you can have the air tank fill up before I'm actually ready to eat, which is a wonderful quality of life thing. Oh, yeah, you can also remove full power cells. Remove one of the cells which power all of the river systems. And now jump cut for 20 seconds, or 40 seconds, not 20. Okay, we've arrived, and now that we've weaved in between the ragged structures, quickly reaching the vehicle bay door, we can move the generator into Loron. It'll be a pain to drag the generator, back out the rover and all the way through the personal airlock. But if you can hook it up to the Loron power grid, you should have plenty of power for everything you need, so long as you have fuel. We don't currently have fuel, so we're not gonna do that. We can also drive back to Talos. You can always just drive back to Talos if there's something you need to do back there. We're gonna leave the rover. We're gonna just leave the generator in the rover for now. Matter later. Okay, we're here. There's a bunch of things we can do, including steal the water. Do we want to steal food? Yeah, sure, let's steal the food. Why not? It's 2 seconds, and it's worth 50 units of food. 50 seconds of food. It's great. We can inspect all this stuff. I want to inspect it all, including the backup generator. But for now, let's check out the maps. Seems like they had pretty detailed maps of the surrounding area. Maybe you could learn something. I do also kind of just want to read these now so I can process these. How long do we have? We have 2 minutes in this. We can do all of these. All these are important. This one's important, but in a weird way. In the version that I played, this did not exist yet. It was like this and content after a certain point did not exist. This is the only thing that's different. That is content before a certain point. So it's fine. Oh yeah, also the whole system of getting faster at certain things was a completely different system. Like look, this it used to always just be leveling up general skills, but now it's not. So you can study the maps and see something very important for our future. What we can see is, wait for it, maps. Sadly, the maps don't extend far enough to show you any new terraforming facilities. What they do show is an underground tunnel that was built between Loron and Talos. The two facilities must have been working together very closely to warrant putting that much effort into keeping them connected. You have to go a little out of your way to reach the entrance, which is why you haven't seen it before, but once you're there, it'll be a much faster route. We're doing that next life. We are getting the faster route. It takes like base time, not counting how fast you can go, 4 minutes 35 seconds to go from here to the house. Through the tunnel, 2 minutes. Massive time save. No joke. It's a great time save. Okay, now whoever's keeping up the tower kept records of where each furrow was going and what they were doing while they were living here. Let's see what they were actually keeping track of. Including something important. The vast majority of the reports are entirely uninteresting, simply tracking what vehicles went where and what they brought back with them. Only one entry catches your eye. Apparently, a rover was sent out on a scouting mission, but never returned and was never found. If you search the area they were last seen, maybe you could salvage some useful gear from what's left. One of the items in that thing is very useful, so maybe next route I even just go straight there. Can't actually go straight there, but you know. Let's inspect the backup generator. You might be able to get the backup generator running again. which would provide power to the whole facility. You know, there you go. We don't even need to bring the generator anymore. I don't even know where we brought it. It's totally a mistake, and it's totally not building up for something. There's totally no proof. This fuel burning generator was a wait. Okay, anyway, I just won't click the buttons. This fuel-burning generator was a backup power supply for Loron. Ideally, it'd only ever be used while the main generator was shut down for maintenance, but it seems as if all the extra people here forced them to run it non-stop for weeks, perhaps even months. The prolonged usage has definitely, it has pretty much wrecked the generator itself, but there's still a couple of fuel cells they never had a chance to use. That's how we power our generator, these fuel cells. Now the question is, do I bring them in now? It takes, what, 30 seconds to bring it inside? Plus 5 to go back? Plus 8 to take us out. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough time this life. I don't have enough time to even inspect the drill. So we're just going to go enter the Loron facility. Maybe cut a jump cut. Jump cut. So what if I jump cut 5 seconds? There's no proof. There's nothing wrong with that. Here we are. We can scavenge for water. And do that for 15 seconds, because each water we get gives us 15 seconds worth of food back. Okay. Okay, so now we can inspect the vehicles. We can force the door. We're not going to. We can inspect the unknown door. I think after this we're going to inspect them. And then for now, disappear. Okay, almost some of the vehicles. With the number of vehicles and the amount of junk built up around them, it'll take you quite a long time to check them all. Unfortunately, they seem to have been stripped of most useful components, and certainly won't be viable replacements for your rover. The only items of note you find are a water recycler you could use to replace the rover's damaged one, and a handwritten diary left in one sentence. So we could install on the rover, but we can't because of the mobile generator that's still in the rover. There's also another thing we could do, which can't actually be done. Let's just inspect the unknown door. The other door you found had no equivalent in Talos, so you have no idea where it might lead. Perhaps something in the area will tell you more. Who knows? Maybe start reading the diary. While it does seem a bit rude, the diary you found may hold useful information for why so many people were here or where they went. Here we go, wait. Okay, wait, this part we literally just did already. Maybe it's just being here for certain... I think it might be just being here for a certain amount of time does that. Okay. So this part's not needed. The door is marked as leading to the mining wing, but this clearly isn't a mining facility. Everything from the layout to the systems indicate this is nothing more or less than Talos was, a terraforming facility. There shouldn't be any mining equipment here. So where could this door lead? It's a heavy blast door, so you need to provide it with power if you want to. If you want it open. You can also read the diary and then die from dehydration. Actually, let me do some math. We got 153. We got 0.085 of water. What happens if we steal some water? 0.85. We have to do better than 0.85 for it to be worth it. And the lowest number is now 0.92, which means we saved a seventh of a second from doing this. And we increase how complete we are. Lots to learn as you read. Alright, you awaken in the crisis. The chill creeping through your bones feels safe and familiar. If it weren't for the burning curiosity to unravel the mysteries, mysteries of your situation, you might be tempted to just lie here for a while. There's a funny thing you can do with that. I don't want to do that yet. We'll do that later. But by later, I mean in a very future run. And for now, we're just going to fast forward to finishing the area. Actually, something important did happen while I was doing this. We have now shorthanded the repair power reserve system and the repair power hull. The hull used to be take the sheets and do it, but now it's just this. The metal sheets aren't exactly far from the rover anyway. Anyway, you know exactly how many you need, and it's not like you have anything else to use them on. So it's much faster to just drag all the plates straight to the rover and get on with the work. Even though that's technically not even how the process is. We still grab 5 and put the 5 back, which I think is pretty funny. And then, of course, the repair power system. You've had enough practice at this that you just grab the power couplers as you pass each system. Where'd it go? As you pass each system, which saves a lot of time. Also, notably, we can't see it right now, but this one does also open the office door. So if you just want to open the door, you have to either click this button or you click the submenu and then click the individual task. So I forgot to unpause when I left, but I just left. the thing, we can travel directly there, base 435, modified 229. Or we could spend a minute finding the tunnel to Loran. It's a big desert, but now that you know roughly where to look, you should be able to find the entrance to the tunnel, which will take you straight to Loran. Which is very nice to see, that we can just go there instead of having to travel this way and use a bunch of time. Maybe we have to do this, and this, and this, and that's... Imagine just not needing to do any of this. And get rid of base 435. It takes a bit of searching before you finally know the entrance to the underground tunnel, which should take you directly to Oron. But now you know where it is, you'll be able to make a beeline for it in future loops. Notably, this is just 2 minutes, and also it drains half a power per second instead of 1 power per second, which is, so it's better on the power system, and it's faster, and that's without any of the default. If we decrease it by like 1.3, like we will do the second time we try to do this, it'll be much faster, and that's very nice to see. Okay, now the no entrances, the tunnel can get you directly to Talos and Loran, far faster than the above ground route. Then it makes sense, it's like a nice paved tunnel, so it gets to go with less restrictions, so you're able to use your power to get there. Okay, just came from the tunnel. The tunnel is everything you hope for. Flat, mostly straight, and lets you out a short distance from the outer edge of Loran support facilities. It will not only be a lot faster than traveling over the desert, but will use a lot less of the rover's power to get there. So we can move the travel in, we can head for the lost rover immediately. I don't think I want to, I think I'll wait till next run. Maybe we'll even go inside. You know what? Let's move the generator into Loran. Let's just, okay. Also, we can go back now. Look at this. It shows 132. We're gonna go do this entire route 28 seconds faster. 28 seconds is a great saving time. Actually, it's like a minute and 28 seconds faster. We're gonna have so much food. Like, that's like about 2 minutes. Imagine we had 3:30. 3 minutes and 30 seconds of resources without even needing to get new food. Purely because we found a tunnel. It's great. Okay, actually a problem I just remembered before doing this is that I need to actually get water and fuel. Maybe we can inspect the drill. Actually, we're not even gonna do that. I'm just gonna, because if I remember correctly, it doesn't actually do what I need it to, which is a problem. Just inspect the drill, learn what's going on. Okay, these compact laser drilling platforms are one of the most important parts of the early stages of terraforming, releasing the underground pockets of gases, which will become the basis of the new atmosphere. As far as you can tell, this one is working perfectly, or at least was, right up until the main power went out. A couple of small holes show where it drilled previously, with one of them still providing a light blaze as the gas continues to steadily escape. Perhaps you'll learn more from similar structures near Talos. Okay, notably, you see how I have to redo the progress all over again because I went away from a move? Yeah, I ain't doing that again. We're just gonna go inside the building. Just entered. Read diary. We have read a bit about the diary. And the diary chronicles the daily life of one of the environmental engineers, Mary Eternalwow. I don't know how to say that. I don't think it matters. Who worked at another facility called Santorini. She worked months of worth. She wrote months worth of entries detailing the minutiae of the maintenance she performed, as well as the jokes and minor disagreements she had with her coworkers. I like that idea. Just writing down the jokes you think are funny. Just has a little notebook. That's nice. Then she started talking about a bizarre artifact they found while setting up a new sensor outpost. She didn't say much about it. She doesn't say much about it, beyond saying that they were all ordered not to talk about it. That's worrying. Shortly after the artifact was found, they were told to evacuate the Loran station. The next few pages describe the journey from scenario to here in surprising levels of detail. You suppose there's not much else to do when you're stuck in a rover and aren't the driver. With this, you should be able to find your way into Satori by following her route in reverse. The final entries seem very rushed. Her handwriting has become erratic, and while she mentions the power at this station slowly failing as they wait for someone to rescue them, she doesn't go into much detail. What do you mean, someone to rescue them? Who is like the Batman coming in to save you? Batman's a bad example. I don't think he's be one to save for an apocalypse. Still, what's with this example? Weird. Also, I realized I might have too much time. So instead, I'm going to grab the power cell. We're going to read a bit about the info because we can't really do anything else in the rover. We're gonna put the generator back in and just take this 40 seconds that I lost and just move on. We made a mistake. We'll live on. Let me also actually grab some. Oh wait, actually, no wait. I don't have enough time for air. Actually, I just realized that out of context feels very weird. We don't have enough time for air. What? Actually, I realized we do have 48. I mean, we do have enough time for air. Sorry, doing something else. We do have enough time for air. We can breathe. Breathing is useful. Alright, so we are now inside the place. So, we don't actually have the generator installed yet. We have to still actually install it, which takes 50 seconds. Luckily, I will be alive for at least 50 seconds. At least. Okay, so notably with... Well, I guess you don't... It's not really notably. You don't... Okay, we have now installed the generator. We can add fuel for 10 seconds. So we can install it, and then we can see with the power of fuel in the generator, we're going to die before we can make use of it. But, voila, it's fueled. Now we have the air recycler, so we have air now. And we have Lauren emergency systems. Fortunately, they shut on IMAC. But look, we can install the water cycler in Loron, which means we have infinite water. We can also try to hack it for 30 minutes. We can also open the mining wing. Let's try to, you know what, we have, what, 11 seconds? Let's open the mining wing. Let's go mining. Let's go underground and start getting resources. We're gonna have power. We're gonna enjoy the power. Notably, we have 4 from the mobile generator, but we're losing 1.8 to backup systems and 0.2 from the air circulator. So it's about half as effective as it could be. Let's enter the mining wing. What's worse that could happen? Oh, we're dead. Satori. Another terraforming station, another with another artifact. Maybe if you find more information about where it is, you can plan a route to get there. I didn't read the description. Whoops. The door grinds open. Something like that. Sorry. I didn't think about it. Jump cut. Okay, now that we've inspected the drill at the Loron station, we're allowed to inspect some of our drills at Talos. While you're passing near the support facilities, you could check out one of the drills to compare it with the one you inspected near Loron. So, you know, let's check it out. You know, what's the worst that could happen? Probably shouldn't say that out loud, you know. The line again. Okay. Still. Let it load. Actually, I just realized down here. As you maneuver the rover out of Talos, you remember your inspection of a drill near Loron. Maybe you should check a similar structure while you're here. Okay. At first glance, it seems identical to the one you've checked. I mean, once you checked outside Loron, except this one's still active. Its tightly focused laser is currently melting its way down towards a new pocket of gas. Yet there's already several holes below the machine. It must have already released a lot. Frustratingly, you feel you still don't have enough information to pin down what seemed wrong. It's definitely something to do with the terraforming process, but beyond that, you're unsure. You have to keep an eye out for more clues. Okay, so I guess we just go back to off to Loron. And we have arrived at Loron. So we can take some resources that are here. Maybe this. And, you know, maybe some fuel cells, you know, who knows. Why not? Let's take some fuel cells. What's the worst that could happen? Nothing bad's gonna happen. There's no proof. Nothing bad's happening. Okay, and now let's return to the rover so we can actually put the generator inside of the building. Just move it inside. It's gonna take like 40 seconds. 40 seconds is a long time to wait. We are now inside the place with the generator. We're gonna install the generator, which is gonna take 40 seconds. Unless I decide to drink something. Do I decide to drink something? Nah. Okay, now that we have been able to do it, we can now install a fuel cell into the generator to get more fuel. You know, fuel is good. And now, we're currently making some, but not a lot. Now, what if we could shut off emergency systems, you know? And then we have even more power, and then power is useful. So we could even hack into the thing. And voila. And now, we can exit the Lawrence facility for very quick, because the power goes out, you can leave through the personal airlock easily enough. So we can just walk out. We have now walked out. Now we can return to the rover and just walk back while there's power inside. And then, oh wow, if only we could park the rover in Loron. Now that the station has power, we should be able to drive the rover through the vehicle airlock. Parking it inside will allow you to recharge the rover directly from Loron's power grid. Through the low cost of 10 seconds, we can put this guy inside. And on top of that, you saw like the 1 minute or so to install it in Rover. Guess what? 30 seconds now because it's already here. Actually, don't even need to do that. Let's first connect the Rove charger. So you can charge the Rover's batteries. It will recharge from Lauren's stores. So it's now going to charge. This little amount that we're missing, not going to be a problem. Let's install the water so we can keep gaining water as we do the next part. And then also maybe disappear as we pack and then refuel it while I go. And also a minor thing. As you see, the air's up, but we're still making air. The air's going directly into our lungs. It's great. We don't even need the air tank. We probably should still just get an air tank, but you know. Another problem on top of the air tank, the water thing, takes 35 seconds to fill water, but the water bottle that this gives only gives 30 seconds worth of water. Once again, you do not have infinite water. Be prepared to still need water. You just won't need as much water. And also then if you waste some water, it's going to be pretty not good for you. Okay, I didn't actually think of reading the descriptions. I'm going to do that. Fill water bottle when it's in the rover. Use the rover's water recycler to fill a bottle with clean, drinkable water. Drink some water. Remove this. Leave in rover. You can leave with your rover anytime you want, even if Lauren runs out of power. Now that the rover's inside, you can briefly power the doors from its power cells. So even if it runs out of power, which it shouldn't, it should be fine. Force the admin door. Persistent hack door. It'll take a while, but once you have the password, you'll easily be able to unlock this door in future loops. Which I don't think we need to, but there won't. I mean, there doesn't seem to be any locks keeping the door closed, but it's a blast door, so you need to run a bit of power to run the motors, and then disconnect rover charger. You will need to disconnect the charger before you can drive the rover out, or if you just want to stop charging, or if you just want to stop the charging. So that's add a fuel generator. Add a fuel cell to the generator, providing significant amounts of power for a short amount of time. Some other things I could have said, but didn't think of until almost done. The little chat thing. Unsurprisingly, passing through the thing takes mere moments while it's powered, and tapping a few controls is certainly a lot easier than cranking the manual controls. It's a shame you can't have it always powered. Well, maybe I stop time, I don't know. When you plug it in, the thing, or when you plug in the rover, the already dim emergency lights flicker slightly as the rover begins drawing in large amounts of Lauren's limited power to recharge itself. And then the thing when the generator turns off. The consistent background noise of the mobile generator shudders for a few seconds, then abruptly stops as the fuel cell runs out. Okay, now this one is, as you crack the final digit of the administrator's password, the door slides open, and you make sure to memorize the full code so you can enter it immediately next time you're here. Okay, now this one, explore admin office. Like most of Luron, the admin office is a lot more chaotic than Talos was. It'll take a bit of time to thoroughly search. Then we need, I guess, only 2 things of water until we're bound to it. So we can just grab some water. Because 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, yes, this much to equal. Okay, much like the rest of the facility, this room shows heavy signs of supporting far more people than it should. 3 temporary desks were set up alongside the regular one, and 2 piles of blankets look like makeshift beds behind them. There's another box of the seemingly standard protein bars in the desk, but most of your focus is on the computers. They only work so long as the power holds out. But there should be some useful info in there. Luckily I have plenty of power. Oh yeah, we also have food. Ooh. Let's see if it's 2.5. Yeah, I should grab some of these. And think about that until, well, we'll see what happens when we finish skimming. You'll need to skim the data on the computers to check roughly what's on them, is the text that's on skim admins. Okay, you briefly power up the computers and check what's on them as quick as you can and to minimize the power draw. From what you can tell, the vast majority of it is just paperwork for the normal operation of the facility. Work orders, supply requisitions, personnel transfers. It seems endless. Unless you have specific terms to search for, you don't think there's much point to randomly looking through files at this point. Search for Talos. These computers may give you some clues as to what actually happened back at Talos. And then after that, we can do search for Centenary, where you may be able to find out more about the facility that Maria was from. Maria Antoinette. And then we can also even eat protein bars and fill water. In fact, I'm going to get some water here. Okay, it seems Lauren had considerable contact with Talos, as they were virtually identical facilities intended to work as a pair, which explains why they built a tunnel between them, or where they built that tunnel between them. Together they were supposed to terraform the entire desert you've been traveling across. About 2 months ago, the Talos commander reported finding an artifact. Shortly after, all contact with Talos was lost for 2 weeks. When it was re-established, Talos claimed communications had only been down for a day, but that a lot of impossible things had happened in that short time. Brand new equipment failed due to wear and tear, Multiple staff claimed their shifts had been several times shorter or longer than they should have been, and one junior scientist died of old age despite being in their 30s. The commander initially tried to transfer the artifact to Loron, hoping that they'd have better luck containing its effects, but eventually just had to evacuate anyway due to the damage that had already been caused. Am I like the chosen one? Is that what's going on? Why am I fine? Why do I now channel the power? Because this seems to make things go faster and shorter. Okay. Oh, I can do this. How much time do I have alive? Not enough. Okay. The Satori station was built in the foothills surrounding a mountain range some distance from here, and was primarily a mining facility. They were not only responsible for releasing a significant portion of the underground greenhouse gases, but also extracting large amounts of metal ores for building colonies once the terraforming is complete. Apparently everyone started getting very concerned shortly after they recovered the artifact that Marie wrote about in her diary. At first, they hoped to use it as a power source, since they could detect high levels of energy. Of energy inside it, but they couldn't find a way to extract it. After a few days, the power levels just kept building higher. Everyone from one of the neighboring facilities had barely arrived when the commander ordered an evacuation to Loron. They suspected that the artifact was eventually going to explode and didn't dare move it in the case that stabilized it. Okay, so let's plan the route to Satiri. You think you've learned enough to get to the Satiri station, but you should plan it out before you leave. It's not as short or as simple as getting to Loron was. Yeah, it's gonna take a minute just to plan it out. I'll have to drink some water. Water's useful for you. Using a combination of the description of the journey in Mary's diary and the data from Loron's computers, you're able to plan out the route to the Satiri's facility. It's a long way to travel, though, even further than it was from Talos, and across rougher terrain. Your rover battery. Oh, I finished. Let's do. I should do this. And let's do this. Oh wait, I forgot I don't have water. Shit. Wait, actually, I want to go back. Wait, what? Wait, what'd I do? What did I do? I forgot to click. Did I click leave my rover? I think I didn't. Whoops. Okay. Using a combination of the description of the journey in Mary's diary and the data from Lauren's computers, you're able to plan. Wait, those rates are already lower than you'd like from getting this far. But even if they were full, you're not sure it'd be enough. You have to either increase their capacity or recharge them at Lauren. And recharge them at Lauren, or find a way of recharging them as you travel. Man, if only there was a way to make them longer. Also, I'm not talking about recharging them as you travel. That's just putting the generator in power rate. Man, if only there's a way to get higher than 400 power. I might have us go to a place where we can do that. But for now, off we go. And let's just fast forward to this part. Go looking for the rover which went missing. According to the reports, the rover went missing somewhere in a region filled with immense pillars and plateaus, creating countless canyons and caves, so progress will be slow. But if it takes too long, at least remember where you've already searched and be able to skip it next loop. So here we go infinitely. This is going to take 4 minutes. If you're in that area, but it's a lot of difficult terrain to search. 4 minutes, we are live for 50 seconds. We do not have the time for 4 minutes. In fact, give me some water. I'm drinking the water right now. We're going to just have to throw away this life searching, and then we're going to die. And then we're going to come back here next run and only search, and no other progress will be done. But it will be done. Maybe we stop by and get some resources before we head back here. Do we get a generator? Yeah, let's get a generator next life. And install it into the vehicle. It has been over a minute, and we do not have enough time to live. I feel like I'm speaking fast. We are going to die. But at least we have searched a bit for the rover. Totally, we'll find it soon. Right, if they're right about this new artifact at Satori eventually exploding, then it could be incredibly dangerous. Or it might already be gone. But if there's another one like the time artifact, which allows you to loop, then you have to try to find it. Let's first just find the one that I already have before doing that, though. Let's just get some resources. And then I'm going to jump cut back to Loron. 2 minor points. Number 1, with the water bottle message, you decide where to go to sleep. You've charted the course to Saturi, but you feel like there's something important waiting for you at Loron. And there is, but we're gonna do a different goal. We're going to find the lost one. Number 2, here's install generator, where they can what happens if you click it to finish it? Are you sure? The generator has to be hardwired into the rover and can't be removed once it's installed. Since it takes up the entire rear compartment, this will prevent you from installing any other bulk equipment there. Do you want to continue? Yes, I do. I don't need more equipment. This is all I'm going to use for this life. And then, okay, now that I've done that, and I'll show you what it looks like, then I'll see you when we're there. It's the wrong button. That's the play button. Okay, we have arrived at Loron. All we're going to do here is we're going to just step out for like a second. It's like we're getting gas. We're getting water. Do I even need food? I don't think I need food based on how much food I have compared to water. I'm just gonna save like the 3 seconds in getting food. Give me the fuel cells. Probably don't. I don't know if I need these. Oh, and look, now it's a gather task. So we can do this. So it'd be faster, slightly. It's honestly faster because that's what I did. And then we return to the rover. And here we are. We've returned to the rover, so we can add fuel. I'm not going to add fuel, at least not yet. Let's head out. I'm gonna run out of air first. Let's head for the lost rover. Now that I have new things of air, let's also get more air. Just to breathe. Okay, now we're gonna run out of water first. Which is a thing that's gonna happen. And then now we just head out. Okay, you return to the plateau region, ready to continue the search for the lost rover. We just click this button and we wait. I'm gonna wait 2 minutes and 40 seconds and see how much progress I get. This is gonna last 5 minutes. It was gonna last longer than I did. I don't think I need to install the generator. Whoops. Oh well, that's fine. We'll live. As a person who makes mistakes once said, "What's the worst that could happen?" It's slow and dull work, but you finally catch a break when your rover sensors ping to inform you another vehicle just came into range. The signal is very weak though, and seems to be bouncing off multiple rock formations to reach you from multiple angles, and you can't get an exact direction. You have to drive to another point to try and triangulate it. This run still does not complete it. We still need to do other runs. We still need to progress. And this is not going to do it. Great. Now that we have died by trying to triangulate it, with very slight amounts of air more than water. A lot to learn at Lauren Station, and each time you reach it, you'll learn a little more. It's pretty dull. But you know, we're just gonna try again. We're just gonna get there, and this time we're going to live, so that I can show what the cool thing about that place is. Okay, so the two different repair parts have been combined into one fully repair. When you really think about it, there's so many little tasks that go into repairing the rover. It's a good job if you never really think about it. Or it's a good job you never really think about it. Okay, so at Loron, we have install generator, which is a 2-task of move generator inside and install it. We also have gather supplies from outside. Now, last time I tried, there's actually a glitch with this subtask that has all these things. As you see, it has the return to rover subtask in it. But there's a problem with trying to return to the rover using this. And here's the problem. No, wait. The problem is it doesn't work. It just doesn't actually work. You get like all the way there until the final task, and then it just doesn't. I don't know why. I think it's already been reported. It's weird. Anyways, off to head for the lost generator. Okay, we're finally back. We are almost there to the lost rover. We can triangulate it. We're getting closer. Each new reading you get narrows the area it could be a little more, or it could be in a little more. So very close. How much air do we need? More? Got it. Give me more air. Needs, what, 330? One more air. I should probably not immediately do this. Probably wait a bit. The only reason to do air fast is if you want it to fill up. If you don't need it to fill up, then might as well just wait. No, I don't need it to fill up. But we are 16 seconds. And now we're 4 seconds. Through the power of movie magic, we can now, after a couple more readings and a bit of educated guesswork, you managed to pinpoint the signal of the lost rover. It looks like they took shelter inside one of the larger caves, using the rover to block most of the entrance. Judging by the pile of sand coating the outside of it, they may have been blocked in by a sandstorm at some point. That could even be why they hid here in the first place. Okay. Now, you know, let's search the cave. Since they never made it back to Luron, it's unlikely they had many supplies left, but you never know. Why do you do the air thing? The air thing is not important. Keep searching the cave. Voila. The inside of the cave all but confirms your hypothesis. A small ring of stones sits at the center, looking almost like a campfire without any fuels or signs of having burned anything. 2 bodies in emergency suits. Let me just eat the food. 2 bodies in emergency suits, similar to your own, are lying next to it. It looks like they ran out of air long before anything else. One of them just laid down and accepted it, or perhaps even died in their sleep. The other seems to have taken off their helmet to eat a final meal. barely even getting a couple bites into it before passing out and suffocating. The rest of the rations sit next to him, and I immediately eat them. Yoink. Yummy. 2 ration packs somehow taste worse than the basic synthesized food, but it's pretty filling. A small seal of powdered drinking water. One small seal, one bottle of clean drinking water. Like the difference between a bottle and a pouch. Okay, now, the rover has absolutely no power, presumably having been used up recycling oxygen to keep its crew alive as long as possible. It shook all its systems for anything worth salvaging. The communications and navigation array is fused, which is likely how they got lost in the first place. The rotor recycler seems fine, but unfortunately it's too bulky to get out of the cave without moving the rotor. And with the amount of sand around it, that's not happening anytime soon, even if you did get it some power. You'd initially think the air recycler is equally unhelpful, but realize it has a pressure regulator, unlike yours. What's more, the design is so simple that you think you could probably build one with the spare parts in the workshop. Spare parts in the workshop back at Talos. The only other thing worth taking, maybe, being a couple of the empty power cells. 2 of them have short circuit and fried, but you can recharge the others, and then they'll extend the range of your rover. That is what makes this so useful. This means that we do not need to use air tanks as we travel. We have unlimited air. With the component, you won't need to worry about your air tanks while you're in the rover. I didn't even look at that, Susie, because I read these when I first played, and then I played like 5 more times, so I intuit my own things. But now, we can, every time when we get ready to leave Talos, we just build one of these. And then we just have air forever, which doesn't even use power. Which is great. We just don't even use power for it. We can just grab this and go. It's great. And then eventually go back. I'm going to take these and head back to back to Lorient. And now we are back. Jump cuts are crazy. You can just make minutes disappear from the world. But we are now going to try to install the generator since we still have the fuel cells from when we went down the first time. We're going to try to explore the mining area. Jump cut. And like that, it has been installed. Now I might be a little bit low on water, but you know, everything will just work out fine. And we have how much water to spare? Enough. We have enough water to start installing the water recycler in Lorient. I should stop calling it Lorient. I'm going to keep calling it Lorient. And now you know you have at least some power in Lorient's batteries. You can hook up the water recycler directly into the power systems of the facility. That includes, while it doesn't have power, because then once it will be hooked up and then we put the power into the system, which then will start making water. Okay, let's make this because I'm not going to have enough water before immediately putting power in. Have a little bit more water. Just keep doing a little bit more, a little bit more. So are just gonna have infinite air. This is how it's gonna work. We're just gonna have infinite air. Now we're gonna shut off the emergency facility so we keep having plenty of power. Yeah. And then we can get some more water. And that should probably do this. I don't think there's anything else I need to do this for. Maybe this, but basically that's gonna be fine. And then eventually we can even go maybe next one. Beep. And then we open the admin door, which doesn't really do much. And we can take protein bars. Yay, more food. With how much water we have. Yay, more food. Because this water to fill is not fast at all compared to the water that we have access to. Let's get some water. And now we have some more water. Let's open the mining facility. Let's check out what's in here. Let's enter the mining wing. You can easily slip through the open door. You should have plenty of time before it closes again. You know, 3 seconds. Slips in. And we also see it's going to close in 7 seconds. Or it's open for 10 seconds. Let's inspect the exit controls. The controls on this side of the door look pretty damaged, but maybe they still work enough to open it. Yeah, so you hurry through the gap feeling nervous, or quite nervous, despite having plenty of time. You might even have time to slip back through if you're quick enough about it. Like, I cannot do that. The other side seems to be a long, narrow corridor with a standard door at the opposite end, and a small console next to each door, though the one at this end looks very damaged. I went and tried read it. You try to access the door. You try to access the door controls from this side, but find the damage is just as bad as you feared. It almost looks like someone took a sledgehammer to the console, shorting out several of the connections and likely causing a power surge, which causes the door to jam in the first place. You can't repair the damage, but you might be able to build a manual bypass for the open signal with the power coupler. Wait, whoa, man, if only we had a power coupler, such as one that makes lots of food. Am I gonna run out of food first? I am gonna run out of food first. Oh shit, that feels weird. I was so focused on getting water, I didn't think about getting food. Oh well, it's fine. We have what? Almost 2 minutes? That's fine. Okay. Now, you walk the long corridor and through the door at the end, entering the mining pit itself. Except it doesn't seem like a normal mine. A large cylindrical room is built around a single opening in the floor. You expect to see an elevator shaft or an open quarry, but instead there's a single immense stone obelisk sitting in the middle of the opening. Huge drills and other mining equipment are spread out around the obelisk. What looks like a pile of clothes lies at the base of the stone. A lone computer terminal sits in the alcove at the edge of the room. You should probably start with the computer while you still have the power to run it. I'm not doing that. I'm expecting the clothes. Seems like very odd for there to be piled clothes on the floor in an abandoned mining pit. Like, I want to check it out. What's the clothes have to do with it? I'm gonna do this, so I can finish it. Okay. It turns out what you thought was a pile of clothes is actually a set of clothes, and it's still on its owner. He's been dead for a while, at least a couple of weeks by your guess. You're suddenly extra glad of your suit isolating you from the smell that's undoubtedly filled the room by now. Judging by the state of his body, you suspect he died of dehydration and starvation at the same time. Crazy. Okay. Yet it seems even as he was dying, he was clawing at the obelisk, hitting it, staining it with his blood. What could possibly have driven him to do this? Oh, yeah, also the power went out. Okay, inspect the obelisk. The huge block fascinates you, appearing to have both natural and artificial aspects to it. As you get closer to the large metal, you realize it's not made of regular stone as you previously thought. It looks more like metal. Not raw metal ore like you'd normally expect in a mine, but pure solid metal. It must be a nightmare to try to drill through. Let's back at the computer. There should be useful information on the computer, so long as you have enough power to access it. Beep. The main use of the terminal seems to have been for keeping detailed records of every shift worked by each person. All of them were working on mining the obelisk. Each one carefully measured the amount of material they mined and from where. There are some oddities, though. For starters, they seem to be mining far less than you expect, given how long the shifts were. Whatever this obelisk is made of, it must be incredibly strong. Secondly, it seems that a lot of the reports are contradictory. Multiple people reported mining in the same area on the obelisk, extracted similar amounts of material, yet the surface barely changed from one to the next. The only other file you find is a video log. Maybe that'll give you some answers. Okay, watch the video log. The video log recorded on the computer might help to explain the unusual reports you found, but you'll need power to play it. Beep. The man who appears in the video looks like one of the miners, and you quickly recognize him as the corpse you found at the base of the obelisk. He seemed more than a little unhinged, raving about how, quote-unquote, they were trying to take him away from the obelisk, and that, quote-unquote, it had so much to offer. Apparently, there's something at the center, or something in the center, but it was taking a long time to reach it. Because whenever they mined a part of it out, it slowly regrew. That would explain the odd reports he found. Whenever the excavation was ordered, this man must have sealed himself in here to try to. Evacuation was ordered, sealed himself to try to reach it. Let's inspect the equipment. So long as it's all in working order, you might be able to use some of the mining equipment to dig into the obelisk yourself. While there's a wide variety of mining equipment spread across the room, both powered and manual. The power tools are obviously dig way faster than the manual ones, but they're also drained with little power you have very quickly. Then again, if the entire crew of this facility couldn't find whatever's hidden inside, do you really have much hope? I'm gonna start digging. If you have power, you should be able to hit your progress. If not, then at least you can still hit it with a pickaxe. Beep. So you see, the remaining time is going down a lot faster because we're also spending power to do this. We can spend power to make this go faster. Nice to see. Fortunately, oh no, it's one of these tasks. Well, at least we'll build up some resistance and totally only that. Especially since it regrows, it's going to be even more dangerous. Especially since time also goes back. Obviously fascinating. You're certain there must be something important at the center. Now you know what you're doing, you should be able to drill into it faster. I only barely started. Okay, let's go back to the drill. And we are back. We have gone many resources. Let me make sure that's the deal. Okay, I think probably I'm just going to end up running out of power, but I did feel the next one. So, let's just hop into the mining wing and just start mining. I didn't actually get the item because I don't plan to leave this run. But I mean, if I can exist for, how long? 5 minutes. If I can exist for 5 minutes and I only need to be here for 1.5, not even counting the speed, I'll probably be fine. Look, 4 from the generator, 2 from mine tools, -2 from air recycler. What if I just stop breathing? What if I held my breath for a bit? I think I'll be fine. We're wasting air. We don't need to. I say as if I can control that. And technically, it's going to last for 20 minutes. And totally nothing is going to stop that from being 20 minutes. Nothing at all. No proof. Nothing. But that also means if this wasn't running, I could just breathe here for 20 minutes. Even longer, even. So you drill into the obelisk. You're able to see it's made of layers. The outmost layer was quite easy to drill through, but now as you seem to be hitting a second layer, which is much tougher. Most of the records you saw didn't go much deeper than this. Second layer. This layer is definitely tougher than the first one, but it's not too bad. 4 power per second for 3 times speed boost. And now the power's off, which means it's going to last 1 minute with this power. We're going to have 1 minute at this speed. 1 minute for 3 times boost, that means we get done with the second layer. And then we just have to throw, we get a second layer. And the question is this the final layer? Or will there be a layer called final layer? Who knows? It's a mystery. Ooh, spooky. Okay, we got 4 minutes on the clock to wait. To try to grind away. I think I'm going to disappear until this thing disappears. So we just mine it away. And will this round races? I think it's not going to. I think it's getting too much. 15 seconds. No, that's not fast enough. We're going to have to grab the pickaxe. What if I just imagine I use the pickaxe on top of the drills? Actually, maybe if you use the drills, you can't use the pickaxe. I guess what if, like, you have to man the drills. And we are now using a pickaxe. It's going to take us actually 40 seconds. Let's skip ahead. And 5 seconds left on the clock for mining through the second layer. What is in here? It takes a lot of hard work, but you finally reach the third layer. None of the records went past this point, but you've still got a long way to go to reach the center. This is not the center. Third layer is even slower than the second. Great. I cannot wait to... How long am I living for? 3 minutes? I cannot wait to throw 3 minutes of my life away. I'm gonna do that. Time to go throw away 3 minutes. Okay, and we have about 10 seconds left. Or not 10 seconds. I messed up. I was keep thinking it's in 6, not instead of 10. We have 4 minutes left on the clock. Let's keep mining. And we died. Fascinating. So something important at the center. And what are we doing? Drill faster. Yada yada. Let's go back and do it again. Leroy. Okay, we're back here. We got a bunch of water. We got some food. We'll be fine. We're going to enter the mining facility. And let's take the third layer. It's going to take, on physical paper, 4 minutes. It's going to be faster than 4 minutes. So if you don't want to stay here for 4 minutes, you don't need to. Oh, wait, sorry. That was the wrong wording. If you don't want to stare at the screen for 4 minutes, you don't need to stare at specifically third layer. There will still be more than 4 minutes of content. There's still plenty of content. Still plenty of things to watch. We got this and this and this. Okay. So we do have... It's going at a pretty fast pace, but it is still going to be a while. So, let me actually do... Maybe this... Not what I meant to do. I just wasted a water bottle. I wasted a water pouch, because that's when the bottle happened. Dang it. And totally nothing weird's going on for me messing with the water. And while you might not be thinking that it would be weird, the fact that pointing it out is definitely help you know that something weird's happening. Okay, notably now we're losing power. And we are going to hit this before this disappears. But, I don't know how fast it's going to be. Especially since we're doing this now. It's worrying, but everything should be fine. Here it should. Okay. We're like 10 seconds off. We're going to hit some boost for the next layer, fourth layer. This is not the toughest layer so far, but also think you're well over halfway to the center now. Cough, cough, there's 5 layers. But the next layer seems different. The drill is cutting through it faster, but the entire obelisk seems to rapidly heat up as it does so. Your suit protects you from the worst of it, but you'll still be dehydrating pretty quick. So, tools seem to cut through this layer a lot easier, but it seems to be radiating huge amounts of heat, making you dehydrate pretty quickly. So watch how fast the water goes down. That is very fast. Minus 9 from excess heat. Probably just so it goes down by 1. That's why I wanted to spread out the thing, so I didn't have to worry about the cooldown. Now, for this, it would be very nice. In fact, here, I'm just going to wait a bit. Oh no, I just disappeared right there. We're actually going to just wait a bit and just let the cooldowns disappear to help get more water into the system. Or by system, I mean me. Into my body. Okay, that seems good. Now we go here. Now, this is still going by. But notice how much power we have compared to how much water we have. We are going to die before we run out of power. Thus, we no longer really care about the water we have. We're halfway done with the reset when you loot. You might be able to reach the center next time. I don't think we will. I'm going to be honest. But here we are. We're going to get a bunch of water. We're going to try this again. I don't think we're going to finish this layer. But who knows? We're definitely going to remember to bring the little power thing next time so we can actually escape and maybe get even more water. Probably not, but maybe. Pick up, and then jump cut to when we get there. Okay, we've made it back here. Let's start mining the 4th layer. Unfortunately, I did realize after I already got here that I forgot to get the thing because I'm so used to doing the process of it. I'm off my game. But luckily, I just forgot about the wait because the first version I played it didn't have this universal wait button. So I've been playing as if it doesn't exist when it very does exist. And right here, it's very useful. So I simply just forgot about the wait button. Now that we have it, we can just use this to help reduce cooldowns. Like here, I'll just wait a bit. Just wait like a few seconds. You know, we don't have to be too much. Because we just need a lot of water. And okay, now that's probably enough. And now see how much progress we get? Not much at all. I don't even think the second orb mattered at all. We gotta try again is the problem. We just gotta keep trying until it works. I hope next life we actually get it. Because then, I'm just gonna say, the 5th layer is easier than the 4th layer to do. 5th layer, I don't know how much easier, but it is easier. Time to go there. And maybe this time I'll remember the air thing. Okay, I'm currently heading back to the destination through there, and the options menu, it pauses the screen, so I don't often click it. I want to see if there was a thing about sound that I can make a comment on. Here's your scale. It's tiny now, because I have a max screen of this. Or what if it was tiny? It's just varied. Try reading any of these words. I can't read it, and I can stare directly at the screen. Turn this back to max. Oh yeah, also here, a little hint about how long it's been taking to, long it's been taking to do the recording, even though you can see it's been a certain amount, and that has been even longer. This have been cut. This is not even counting just, so you know. Back to pause. Alright, it's time to enter the mining facility. In this run, unlike the normal runs I do, or at least what I have been doing for the water fighting, there's still one water pouch out here that I can go get once if I need to come out. Because I remembered the power coupler. God damn. So this takes a while to open, and then it stays open for 10 seconds, which means if you do a task and then come back to it, it could just be closed. Luckily, the progress already started, but I had to do the progress again. In fact, now it's better to do this now. So I'm doing it now. Ugh. Give me this. Give me this. Give me that. Enter the thing. We're mining. I'm gonna hope we get enough water. And we got, okay, let's see here. We got 50 seconds. Here, let me move this so we can see the water. Or at least the water better. 30 seconds. We are out of big bottles. We're down to 3 of each in reserve. I believe this one can just be done. Okay, we are gonna hit it. That's good to see. Right? Okay, we just barely hit it. We are very close to not hitting it. Because of these. Okay, we just need to drink a bit more. You must nearly be through the center. There's probably only one left. The obelisk has stopped generating heat, thankfully, but it's releasing some kind of gas as you cut into it. You wonder what kind of effect it might have on your suit. Okay, it's probably the only one layer left. So it doesn't say final, but it's probably the only one. Which means it's 7 more. No, I'm kidding. This layer seems to be fairly quick to cut through, too, but the gas is releasing seems to be interfering with your suit's symptoms. Isn't this one, like, literally longer than the other? Either way. So now the air in the area goes down, followed by our personal air, which we'll use our air tanks. Once we use all the air tanks, we go down to maybe like 5. Do it. Because this one's much easier, because by default, assuming you have power, air goes up. This will go from like 0 to start going up to this not being out. That happens very quickly into the system, which causes you to not really run out of air unless you run out of power, in which case you're already not making much progress. So it's actually kind of interesting. Let me do like... So actually I can push it like real to the limits. And then just wait. Because we can bypass exit controls, which lets this air fill up. Immediately I stop losing air because we have this. It's instant. Do not wait a second. I would snap if I knew how to physically do it. To show how fast it is. It would just immediately get all the air back. Now this, I can trigger the exit bypass. But let's get a little bit more air out. We have ran out of the things. Okay. Let's go down to... Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, let's trigger the exit bypass. And now we're allowed to leave. So we leave. We have left the exit, or we left the mining facility. Now we can fill up in air. Except we can't because we don't have the RV. What we can do, though, is quickly go out to the RV. While maybe the facility fills up on air, we lose a bit of air because we're outside the Lauren facility, but we can go here. Now we have air. We can fill the air tank, which might have been why I immediately saved it. But we can also park the rover in Lauren. We can park it in here. In fact, let me actually do, I think I can do this to get more air than default, because we're going to naturally fill up air while in the here. And I can save some of the area resource, because that's not going to hit 15 while I'm gone. We can save that before parking in, since that has to fill up before we get here. And oh, I'm almost out of water. Whoops, I forgot to do that. I forgot about how other resources. I focus on the air. Whoops. Give me some water. Because the problem right now is that we're not spending air. Give me like plenty of water. Like just give me all this water. Just give me all the water I can. I'm worried that it's gonna run out. I'm gonna make sure it doesn't run out. I could connect the rover charger. I'm not. I'm not wasting power charging a rover who I don't plan to drive in. Us driving in here is kind of just unexpected, or was unprepared. At least we filled the water bottle up. Wonderful. Let's fill 2 air tanks up, so I have a bit more air before I go down into the depths. Before I open the mining wing and go downside. There you go. Now we're gonna run out of water in 2 minutes, and that means we're totally going to mine for 2 minutes straight with power. Nothing bad will happen. There's no proof. I'm gonna go mine the layer now. And okay, we got 3 minutes. The air is rapidly dropping. I'm afraid of minus 8 per second, even though I have one from personal drain. So it's minus 9, or 0.09 from toxic gases. Once again, turns 0.1 to 1. I think that's why. It's not actually because it's like 9 times as breathing. Just because it's a simple number, you can recognize, like, this is how many seconds you have to live. Assuming there's nothing going on. Okay. Now, technically, I can live a bit longer by doing this, so I'm just gonna... Okay, now we got that. We're just gonna... actually... based on how much power I have, I think I am just going to die and revive. We're gonna run out of air at a certain time. Wake up, try this again. And by try this again, I mean I'm gonna go there with plenty of air and then just solve it easily. And here we are, ready to enter the end. Well, I guess almost ready. But we are doing some things. Along with this minor change, I have, instead of installing the water generator in, I have words. No, we can't do a retake. It's already been 2 hours. At this point, I took the fill water bottle, put it in the rover instead of in the place, which is called Loron, and I forgot the name. I also brought the rover in here because I plan to leave after this. And I plan to have this place leave this. So we're going to open the mining facility, which should be done very soon. Left. We are digging the 5th layer. We should be able to get rid of all the air very quickly. It's only going to take a minute. It's not that much air. We got more than a minute of air. It's even less than a minute because it's going at 3 times speed. It's like you need 10 seconds of air. Can you hold your breath for 10 seconds? If you can, you're fine. This is me holding breath for 10 seconds. We put an air tank so we could hold the... There we go. At last, your drill suddenly breaks through the final chunk of the obelisk, revealing a small, hollowed-out area in the center. Resting in the middle of the space is an artifact, similar to the one you found in the rover, where the previous one was swirling in an infinitely complex dance. This one seems almost simple. The tiny cubes which comprise it are forever spilling out from the center, flowing out and around its surface. Oddly, you can't actually seem to see anywhere that they return inward towards the center of the artifact. Maybe if you get a little closer, touch the artifact. The swirling patterns are so mesmerizing, you almost don't want to touch it, just so you can keep staring at it. I'm gonna touch it. Click. You're far less surprised this time when the artifact responds to your touch by latching onto your arm and pulling itself toward you. However, where the previous artifact simply flowed into your body through your hand, this one seems to continue crawling up your arm before reaching down to the nano storage device on your belt. Moments later, the last traces of the artifact are gone, along with the strange compulsive effect they seem to have on you. Checking your storage device, you're confused to see that See, it seems all your items have somehow increased the mass of all the resource items you're carrying. From now on, then in bold, from now on, all resource items will restore 25% more resource when consumed. This water was 2, now 2.5. This pouch was 2.5, now 3.125. Our resources are stronger now. So, previously that is weird. Well, actually, no, it's not. I was about to say something that was just incorrect. So now we can leave the area. I did also block this off so I can go get resources from other things. Bypass exit controls. Let's exit the facility. We don't need to be here anymore. We can go home. Let me also use an air tank because I can. Let's exit the mining facility or mining wing. Let's fill the air tank. Let's fill the air tank again. Let's grab just a bunch of water. Let's scavenge for water. Just keep grabbing water. Because the background is off. Notably, these pouches are stronger now. But notably, this also means that the early game setup, where I could just have 2 bottles, no longer works. I think I showed that at the beginning. If not, having 2 of the fast water bottles makes it line up perfectly with the food before you had to get anything. That breaks when you leave the place, so it automatically starts eating the 3 unit items from one and the 2.5 from the other. But okay, so now we've done that, so we can fill up these bottles. Actually, I don't need to fill up these bottles. These will fill up as I go places. What I do need to do is take the protein bars, because I will be on a trip. And we are there. Sorry, I'm just going to do some math. Okay, we're doing this. Oh, yeah, also, we want to connect the rover charger. Just because I can. Take some power. Oh, wait, actually, not yet. This is a bad idea. I shouldn't have done that. I'm actually disconnect it, because I'm going to need to use the power. Okay, let's do... Okay, let me go. Now let's eat. Let's scavenge for food still. Let's go up to like 3, I guess. Because of the next plan I have. Oh, I didn't actually drink any bottles. Whoops. I don't know if I need to. Okay, we have protein. We have ration packs. Let me eat a protein bar. And then make another protein bar. Okay, let's leave in the rover. I'm not actually going to completely leave, though. At least I don't think I will. Based on math, I'm going to go off to... We're going to head off to get the lost rover. We're going back there. We're getting some resources. We are getting those empty containers to put power in so we can charge the rover up to higher power. Perfect. This has now hit the amount that I'm okay with. Give me this. And let's also do this. The water bottle does take 7.1 seconds, but, you know, eventually it'll just be less. Totally. Nothing bad will happen. There's no proof. Notably now, this takes 35 seconds, and the bottle provides 37.5 seconds of water, thus meaning we have infinite water. We no longer have to worry about water, assuming we do it right. But now we can gather supplies. We can grab water, grab food, grab empty power cells. But we have infinite water. That's great. We have infinite air. That's great. We already had infinite air due to the thing made from the lost place. But just having these resources is nice, because now we just don't have to ever worry about it in the slightest. Well, maybe not the slightest. We can still worry about it. But we just don't have to put a lot of effort into maintaining our water supply, into the food supply. Into the air supply. We only have to care about food. Food is now our limiting factor. We are limited to... Oh, food and power. We are limited to about 12 minutes of food. And based on a thing I know, that might be all we need. So let's gather supplies and then drive back to Laurent. Once we drive back, we can park the rover down in the place. And then install the 2 empty power cells, which I haven't done yet, so it's going to take a long time to do. There. Let's jump cut. Okay, it is now time to park the rover in Laurent. We are actually probably not going to be at 100%. We're just going to be close to it. We're going to have to install, and we're going to have to do this. That is worrying, because now I know it won't actually do what I need it to. But, oh well. We will live. Now, I don't need food, so I'm not going to get more food. We will need water, but I can refill water as I go. I don't need air. I do need power, and I'm worried that I won't have enough power to do exactly what I want. And if I need to do another run-through, I will be sad, but I will do it, because I need to. Also, notably, you see how you can't enter the mining room anymore? It's just not allowed. Like, oh yeah, there's nothing to go down there, so don't go back down there. Or like the moment you get to the artifact, it just ceases to exist. It was a myth. It was a mirage. It's not real. I think it's a funny way to phrase it, even though it definitely was real, very much so. Also a good thing. Waiting means you can just let a timer go by and let things finish. But it is also nice to just have. It's kind of nice to have the skill of you need to actually pretend to progress to get anywhere. It was a nice little way. See, it was like, what if you could filibuster or other ways to pass the time? It was a little interesting little mini game that you can't do anymore. But honestly, it is much better just to be able to wait whenever you want. I'll be honest. It is nice that to have it be a core part of the game. And let's do this. And we are now out of power. So let's disconnect the rover charger. Okay, wait. 7 seconds. Even runs out of power now. So you can briefly power the doors from the power cells. So let's leave the door. And 970 power. Let's depart for Central Nori. I think we have enough resources. We'll be fine. We got like what, 10 minutes of food? Wonderful. Okay, let's depart. You're confident in this route you've plotted. So long as you have enough supplies, there's no need to delay leaving any longer. And 40 seconds is a lot. Okay, we've just finished the thing. Unlike when you first left Talos, though you feel quite confident that you're going to find at the end of this journey. Maybe it's just the comfort of being stuck in a time loop, so no mistake, no matter how bad, is permanent, which is kind of a weird thing to say. Weird thing to think of about. Or maybe it's because you feel you already know the entire route you're planning to travel, thanks to Mary's detailed journal. Either way, the first part of your journey hasn't been too bad, taking you to the edge of the desert. Now it will be slower going as you enter the rockier region. Navigate rocky terrain. The first side of your journey carries through a rocky region full of stone formations and canyons. Drains 2 power per second. Uses a minute 45. That is 105 seconds at 2 per second. That's 210 power the first time you come through. That's a large number. Now I wonder if you throw your head at the wall enough times, how little power can you spend? Well, it'll probably take up days to do exactly that. What if you just did it for days? I'm not gonna keep thinking of this. This is a dumb idea. How far can you get without eating any food? Today's episode: how far can you get in this game without eating any food? I'm not gonna do that. It would be a funny challenge idea. You'd probably die on day 1. Yeah, you have to actually get to the thing first. Do it without ever putting power in the guy? Maybe? Nah. So dumb. Okay. First, like, through a rocky region full of stone formations and canyons. I've read that again. I forgot to pause. I forgot I could pause the thing. It's been 2 hours of a video, and it's been a lot longer of not the video. So, I'm off my game. Okay, we navigate the rocky terrain. I forgot I said it to stop. Okay. You find yourself immensely glad to have found Mary's diary. While she didn't record every turn or rock formation, her notes often spare you from wasting time going down dead ends. Even so, you're looking forward to learning the correct path, though, so you can get out of here faster. Navigate, despite your knowledge of the area and preparation. It's still slow going, with the occasional need to backtrack and find a better route. It's going to take about 20, and it's going to take about however long it takes to skip that. Okay, and we're almost done with progressing. We're about to find the better route, and we've gone past 100, so we can no longer take the power route, and I just noticed that. Eventually, you reach the edge. 1 second. Okay. Eventually, you reach the edge of an area, and just one last canyon to cross. In fact, it's a river. Somewhere upstream is a glacier with heaters constantly melting the ice to create surface water. This canyon carrying it towards the equator and a warmer climate. It's a shame it likely has all sorts of contaminants and alien bacteria, which would make it quote-unquote risky at best to refill your water bottles from. I never even thought about refilling the bottles from, I'll be honest. But hearing that part say out, it's like, oh yeah, I should have thought about that as a player. Okay. What's worse is there's not actually any natural way to cross it, with the mountain on one end and a sheer cliff on the other. No going around it either. The good news is, they built a dam across it, which allows a shallow portion of the river to be crossed when it's closed. You just have to find where exactly on the river it is. So, drive to the crossing. Oh, perfect. Oh, neat. Okay. You're easily able to spot a large dam. Here, let me get the water. You're easily able to spot a large dam large dam spanning the river, and you're pretty sure you can see the crossing points just below it. But with the dam open, it's still it's still far too deep for you to safely cross. Mary's diary notes that the dam only fully closes when it detects the humidity of the surrounding area getting too low. Closing for even a short time forces some of the water to be absorbed into the surrounding soil. It seems like you have no choice but to wait for to be time. Thankfully, the dam seems to be broadcasting a short-range signal which contains, among a lot of environmental data, an estimated time for when the data from the dam is next to be closed. That's why. Okay, I might have been playing. I might have every time I got to this part, I was either way too late for it. Here, let me just start waiting. It might be. I'm gonna be honest. Every time I got here, I've never seen this. I never got here early. It's always been exactly on time, which is weird, or too late, as you'll see in 10 seconds. I don't want to skip this because 10 seconds. You guys can wait 10 seconds. You waited 2 hours. You can wait 10 seconds. But, and then important thing about it is, bang, it retracts in 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes until the thing retracts. And the first time I showed up here, it was like 25 minutes, because that's where it was the first time. It's 25, and I kept waiting until 30, till 35, like while sitting there, and I was like, oh, maybe I do need to just get here early and then just wait, because there's different places to wait at. Yeah. Now we can cross the river. I'm worried that I'm going to run out of power before I do what I need to do, I'll be honest. Let's cross the river. Centauri awaits on the other side of the river, and over a few hills, maybe a few more. I mean, maybe more than a few. That's more than a few hills. There we go. As you reach the other side of the river, you notice a small control booth at the base of the dam. It may be worth checking out to see if there's any other way of causing the dam to close. And you might inspect the control booth, you might find an alternate way to cause it to close in the control booth. We'll see. Okay, and the booth is extremely minimal, but you do learn that it has short-range communications. Now that you know the comms code, you can link your rover with the dam and extend it whenever you need. No more waiting. Wonderful. Now drive up the dam. If you read the maps correctly, you should get your first view from the top of the steep hill. Whoa! As you reach the top of the hill, you're finally able to see Centauri in the distance. It looks very different from the stations you've been to before. It lacks the surrounding support structures, but seems to consist of several medium-sized compounds spread over a large area, connected by large cables and pipes. It'll still take you a while to get there, but for now the path runs along the top of a ridge, allowing you to keep Centauri in view. Let's go. Now, the hill moves in a wide arc towards the facility in the distance. Now, ignore the fact that it's cost a power a second and we need 100. We are not making it there yet. We do not have nearly the power. Maybe if I put the generator on it, but I wanted the water. Also, I have a different plan. Okay. Okay, I have a different plan. As the last of your power, Rover's power is drained, it rolls to a halt. With no other method of transport, you're as good as dead. Your only remaining decision is whether or not to wait till the end. And because I know that something that's going to happen, I'm going to wait till the end. And how long do we need to wait? We need to wait enough to do a time skip. And now the dam retracts. The dam has now gone. Oh, it auto-paused. Oops. The waiting disappeared at that point. So there's no way to go back. The dam has been risen at 21 minutes. Which means you have until 19 minutes to 21 minutes to get over because it took 2 minutes. It's very interesting to know. But we also know we can show up early. Now, I wonder what happens if we just stay here forever. I wonder if anything bad could possibly happen. And I might be setting up something I know is about to... There we go. You died! An immense burst of energy ripples outward from where Centauri once stood, vaporizing all matter in its path. You don't even feel anything. In an instant, you simply cease to exist. You're not sure what caused it, but given how much trouble these artifacts seem to be causing all the facilities, it seems a pretty safe bet that one of them is responsible. Perhaps if you can reach Centauri, you have time to learn more. You're vaporized along with Centauri at 21:22. In the previous version where I played, which was the latest version, or latest big update, this is where the game ends. They had a message saying where game ends. And I could play for the rest of it. Except, it's already been 2 hours for this video. I don't want this to be like very long. On top of that, it's also late for me, because I've been here a while. I might have been here this long, playing the game. Maybe give it a take of 10 or 20 minutes to doing things. So I think I'm going to call it there for this episode. Maybe next week I'll do the follow-up where I play this. Once again, it will be recorded and have it cut out. And eventually I'll live stream this when the newest version comes out. because as we saw at the beginning of this video, they actually interact with, they actually are up to date with what's going on. Oh, this is an edit? You can edit your messages? Cool, anyways. Thank you all for coming. I hope you all enjoyed. Catch you all next time. Bye.